to an individual. And that is where doctors could play a very, very important role. And friends, today, Government of India is supporting lot of intervention in this particular field, AI inclusion in the healthcare, and there are departments like Indian Council for Medical Research, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, which are promoting research in this area. There are departments like DBT, DST, Technology Development Board, BIREC, MIghty, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, which are encouraging industries to put in new research products, to put in new research applications to inform the citizens better about their health and to reduce the load on the doctors. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vasne. Thank you very much. I think that will not happen. A person is coming with this, and I have a disease and treat me. Not, I don't think that is going to happen, because whatever information he or she will get from the AI or ML tools which are available will be based on the data which has been fed inside. There are few things you will not know yourself, only doctor can tell you that this has happened. So definitely doctors are required and very much required, which I can say. Now I will invite Dr. P.K. Singh, Agricultural Commissioner, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. Agriculture is going to play a major role. I think definitely it is very, very important for all of us. You go to any hospital for a medical checkup, they'll say, go see the dietitian. So going to dietitian means agriculture is very, very important. Whether nowadays people are talking about organic farming or natural farming and all this thing, because they want to keep you healthy. So I think Dr. P.K. Singh will be talking about that.
Thank you. Now from doctors to agriculture, and then from English to Hindi. Let us have something in Hindi also. मंच पर आज के इस महत्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित माननीय पूर्व मंत्री महोदय, अन्य सभी गणमान्य व्यक्ति, सभी वरिष्ठ चिकित्सक एवं अन्य साथी, हॉल में उपस्थित सभी साथीगण। साथियों, आज जब पृथ्वी नहीं बनी थी, जब पूरे ब्रह्मांड की रचना नहीं हुई थी, तो वेदों में लिखा हुआ है कि तब पे कुछ नहीं था, सब कुछ कहीं पे छिपा हुआ था। कहाँ छिपा था कोई नहीं जानता। तो जिस दिन बिग बैंग हुआ, हम लोग इसको मानते हैं कि एक समय जब बिग बैंग हुआ तो उस समय दो चीजें बनी थी। सभी को पता होगा क्या दो चीजें थी। क्या था? एक था उजाला या प्रकाश और दूसरा था इंटेलिजेंस। उस समय जो इंटेलिजेंस, अब उसको आप परमात्मा का या परब्रह्म का ज्ञान कहें या जो भी कहें, दैट इंटेलिजेंस, आज जो हम लोग जितनी भी इंटेलिजेंस की बात करते हैं, वो सब उसी इंटेलिजेंस का एक्सटेंशन है, नथिंग एल्स बियॉन्ड दैट। जो भी है सारा आपका, पृथ्वी घूमेगी, चंद्रमा घूमेगा पृथ्वी के चारों ओर, ये सारी इंटेलिजेंस है। एंड दैट ऑल इज कॉल्ड एज नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस, या जिसको कि वेदों में या गीता में सब जगह कहा गया है महत। महत जो है वो वही है। आज जो नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस उस समय शुरू हुई, उसको एक्सटेंशन होते 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 आज हम लोग जो हैं इस लेवल तक आए हैं कि उस नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस में से शायद कुछ पॉइंट फ्रैक्शन ऑफ डेटा जो हम लोग जनरेट कर पाए, जो ज्ञान अर्जित कर पाए, उस ज्ञान को अब पहले गूगल की तरह से सर्च इंजन्स आए, याहू आया, गूगल आया, और अब शायद एआई बेस्ड सर्च इंजन्स आ रहे हैं, जिसमें कि कुछ कंप्यूटर भी अपना इंटेलिजेंस लगाना शुरू कर दिया। पहले कंप्यूटर अपनी कोई इंटेलिजेंस नहीं लगाता था। शायद हम लोग कुछ सर्च डालते थे, कीवर्ड डालते थे, वो वट एवर इंफॉर्मेशन इट हैज, वो 10 मिलियन साइट्स बता देता था कि अब ये है, तुम जानो, तुम्हारा काम जाने। लेकिन अब धीरे 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 थोड़ा सा उसमें इम्प्रूवमेंट ये है कि थोड़ा डेटा बेस्ड कि हम खोज रहे हैं तो हमारे लिए क्या इंफॉर्मेशन हो सकती है, वो अब उस तरीके से सर्च करने की बात हो रही है। तो महत्व से लेके आज ये महत्वपूर्ण इंफॉर्मेशन जो है, वो महत्वपूर्ण इंफॉर्मेशन को कैसे गूगल आप तक पहुंचाता है, दैट इज, या जो भी सर्च इंजन्स आ रहे हैं वो सारे जो हैं वो। अब एग्रीकल्चर को आज इन्होंने जब हमसे कहा कि आप आइए उस दिन, तो हम कहे कि आज आपका डॉक्टरों का कार्यक्रम, उसमें हमारा क्या है। तो उसी समय फिर ये कहने नहीं, आइए आप कुछ भी बोलिएगा। तो हम कहे अच्छा कुछ भी बोलना है तो भाई, जैसा खाओगे अन्न वैसा रहेगा तन, और जैसा रहेगा तन वैसा रहेगा मन। क्योंकि ओशो जो है हमेशा कहते रहे कि 80% तो इधर से है बीमारी, सारा जो है आधी बीमारियां यहाँ की हैं, टेंशन से बीपी है, टेंशन से ये है, खाने पीने से कुछ और भी ओबेसिटी है, ये है, मतलब तमाम चीजें जो हैं। तो क्या अब हम लोग इस दिशा में सोच सकते हैं कि एआई बेस्ड, हम लोग पिछले साल इंटरनेशनल ईयर ऑफ मिलेट मनाए, ताकि एक जो चीजें हैं, अब वो मिलेट जब हम लोगों ने शुरू किया तो पता चला कि तुरंत मिलेट का दाम बढ़ गया बाजार में। जो बाजरा और ज्वार कोई पूछता नहीं था, रागी ज्वार बाजरा, वो 80 रुपए, 100 रुपए, 150 रुपए मिलने लगा। और फिर उस साल भर के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट, उसके फिर कीपिंग क्वालिटी की बात आने लगी कि उसका आटा तो तुरंत खराब हो जाता है, ये है। तो एक के बाद एक चीजें, तो क्या अभी हम लोग ऐसा सोच सकते हैं, जिसके ऊपर कि हम लोग अपने मंत्रालय में इसके ऊपर काफी काम शुरू कर रहे हैं, कि साल भर हमारा जो है अभी तक सारा जितना हम लोग का रिसर्च था या डेवलपमेंट का काम था, वो प्रोडक्शन बेस्ड रिसर्च पे था। प्रोडक्शन कैसे बढ़ाना है, उसमें क्या सब कुछ, ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन हुआ तब से सब केवल प्रोडक्शन प्रोडक्शन प्रोडक्शन। अब हम लोग उसको कंजम्पशन बेस्ड रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट की ओर ले जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, कि अगर हमारे जो, अगर आपको पता है कि हमें चीनी या शुगर की बीमारी हो रही है या कुछ ऐसा दिक्कत हो रही है, तो हमें क्या खाना चाहिए। अगर एआई आपको बता दे कि क्या खाना चाहिए, वो तो आसान है, क्योंकि वो एक सेट डेटाबेस के बेसिस पे बताएगा। लेकिन वो खाना आपको मिलेगा कहाँ से, इसके लिए एआई को कहाँ तक डेटाबेस अपना मजबूत करना पड़ेगा, आपको किस सीजन में किस समय कौन सी फल सब्जियां होंगी, उसमें से कितना खाना है। आज एक बहुत बड़ा परियोजना पहले चली थी डीबीटी में भी, इसके ऊपर काफी काम हुआ, गोल्डन राइस, जिसमें कि आयरन भी था, सब कुछ था। लेकिन जब ये हुआ कि गोल्डन राइस अगर आधा किलो खाओगे तब जाके तुम्हारे आयरन के पूरा, तो कैन वी प्रोवाइड गोल्डन राइस सो मच, नहीं। उसकी जगह एक गोली देना आसान है, या फिर पालक और की सब्जी और चावल खाना आसान है। हमें चावल, हम लोग फोर्टिफिकेशन की उसके बाद स्कीम शुरू हुई, गोल्डन राइस के ऊपर काम बंद करना पड़ा। फोर्टिफाइड राइस का स्कीम कि उसको पीसते हैं, उसमें और चीजें ऐड करते हैं, फिर उसको चावल के फॉर्म में बनाते हैं और उसको 2% 4% जितना मिक्स करना होता है वो करते हैं, पीडीएस सिस्टम बढ़ता है। तो कहीं ना कहीं से ये डेटा जनरेट होता है, उसको किस तरीके से हमको यूज करना है। अब वही है कि हमारा अभी आज टमाटर का कहीं पे खेती हो रही है, उसको यहाँ पे वैल्यू चेन में ला के किस तरीके से हम पहुंचाएं, कितना टमाटर लोगों को खाना चाहिए, किस सीजन में कौन सी सब्जी खानी चाहिए, कौन से फल खाने चाहिए, और ये सबका इंडिविजुअल रिक्वायरमेंट होगी। जो खेत में काम कर रहा हो उसके खाने की रिक्वायरमेंट अलग होगी। तो ऐसी जगहों पे एआई का कितना यूज हम कर सकते हैं, हेल्थ केयर, अपने हम केवल हेल्थ, तो ये तो जब कभी आज से 10,000 साल 20,000 साल से जब से खेती हो रही है, ये सारी चीजें 50,000, इंडिया में 50,000 से ज्यादा स्पीशीज हैं पौधों की। उसमें से ये जो 12 जो फूड सिक्योरिटी की क्रॉप स्पीशीज हैं, उसमें से भी 3 जो कार्बोहाइड्रेट के मेजर सोर्सेज हैं, व्हीट, राइस एंड मेज, इस तक पहुंचने में बहुत इंटेलिजेंस लगी होगी, जो कि नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस रही होगी किसानों की। वो जो भी लोग थे या आदिवासी क्षेत्रों में, मेडिसिनल प्लांट, एक मेडिसिनल प्लांट तुलसी से गला ठीक होता है, ये नॉलेज इकट्ठा करने में उसको हो सकता है कई 100 साल लगे हों, क्योंकि हजारों पौधे थे, 49,000 स्पीशीज तो इंडिया में है। और वही पौधे, वही चीजें हर जगह, नीम से दांत ठीक होते हैं, अभी डॉक्टर साहब बता रहे थे। हमें लगता है बचपन में सब लोगों ने नीम का दातुन किया होगा, या जानते हैं कि हाँ नीम से अच्छा होता है। क्या इन चीजों को किस तरीके से हम बढ़ावा दे सकते हैं, कहाँ पे हम लोग उस नॉलेज को अपने डेटाबेस में, जब ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन डेटाबेस में आई। अदरवाइज बहुत पहले जब 90 के दशक में हम लोग नौकरी शुरू किए तो पहला ही टीचिंग यही होती थी कि ये जो कंप्यूटर है दैट इज कॉल्ड एज गीगो मशीन, गार्बेज इन गार्बेज आउट। तो क्या ऐसा ना हो कि इतना गार्बेज इन हो जाए कि हमें एआई के बाद भी वही गार्बेज आउट मिले, हमें खाना है कुछ, बता रहा है कुछ, तो जो इंफॉर्मेशन है उसी से तो वो बताएगा ना। तो कितना अच्छा डेटाबेस हम इसमें डाल सकते हैं, इस पे हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं। हम लोग अपने तरफ से एग्रीकल्चर में जो कुछ हो सकता है ताकि सभी लोग हेल्दी रह सकें, उसमें मिलेट एक अपनी ही नॉलेज थी जो कि वर्षों से दबी पड़ी थी कहीं। उसी तरीके से सीजनल वेजिटेबल्स हैं, बहुत सी हैं जिनसे कि कई तरह का फायदा होता है। जैसे नोनी है, नोनी एक कॉमन पौधा है जो कि शायद सब जगह मिलता है, लेकिन नोनी का पूरा जो एक सोसाइटी बनी हुई है नोनी साइंसेस की, जो कि नोनी के प्रोडक्ट्स बना के लाती है। तो ऐसे ऐसे चीज़ों को, नॉलेज को खोजना, उसको अपने डेटाबेस में वापस लाना, कितना प्रयोग करना है, कैसे प्रयोग करना है, किस बीमारी में प्रयोग करना है, इन सब चीज़ों को भी हमें टोटल एक कंप्लीट डेटाबेस जनरेट करके ही शायद हम लोग एआई की ओर बढ़ना चाहेंगे। नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस से एआई आते आते थोड़ा समय लगेगा, लेकिन निश्चित एआई का बहुत प्रयोग है। हमें सारी इंफॉर्मेशन को एक साथ सर्च करने में, उसको एक जगह कंसाइज करने में और 1 to 1 आप तक पहुंचाने में एआई ही कारगर होगा आने वाले समय में, ऐसा हम लोग को उम्मीद है। और उम्मीद है कि इस दिशा में सीएसआर फाउंडेशन जैसी जो संस्थाएं लगी हुई हैं वो जरूर इसमें और आगे कार्य करेंगे और अच्छा कार्य करेंगे। इसी के साथ आपको दीनदयाल जी ये कार्यक्रम आयोजित करने के लिए बहुत बहुत बधाई और आप सबको नमस्कार।
धन्यवाद पीके सिंह जी, बहुत अच्छा आपने बताया एग्रीकल्चर कैसा इवॉल्व हुआ और क्या इसका इम्पोर्टेंस है। डेफिनेटली तो खाने से डॉक्टर का बहुत रिलेशन आपस में है। खाना और डॉक्टर मतलब आपको क्या खाना है और क्या खाने से डॉक्टर के पास जाना है, तो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है ये। तो इसीलिए डॉक्टर जब आप किसी भी ट्रीटमेंट में जाएंगे तो बोले वो डाइटिशियन से जरूर मिल लेना। इवन वो आई टेस्ट करना चाहिए तब भी बोलते हैं डाइटिशियन। मुझे समझ में आया था आई का डाइटिशियन से क्या रिलेशन है, बट दैट हैपन्स, इट हैज हैपेंड विद मी आल्सो। सो कोई बात नहीं, दैट इज देयर। नाउ वी वुड लाइक टू लिसन टू आवर चीफ गेस्ट Dr. Subhash Sarkar. We have seen his presentation previously also in CSR Research Foundation. He speaks so well and very passionate. I don't know why he has come to the politics. Maybe I don't know the reason, but he's an excellent doctor. He speaks well about his profession, doctor profession. I don't know about this how he's in parliament, but definitely he'll be there because he's a very passionate person. So, sir, I would like to invite you to share your views on.
नमस्कार। तो मैं हर समय एक बात कहते हैं, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी एक देश एक भारत से बताया, तो ये नमस्कार शब्द को हमारे देश में क्या क्या होता है मैं एक बार बताऊंगा, आप भी थोड़ा इसको दोहराएंगे। नमस्ते एक साथ बोलना चाहिए, नमस्ते। फ्रॉम हियर टू ईस्ट, खुरुम जारी, दिस इज, आवाज तो नहीं आ रहा है, खुरुम जारी, दिस इज फ्रॉम मणिपुर। खम्मा घानी, खम्मा घानी इज फ्रॉम राजस्थान। From Himachal Pradesh, it is Jolo Jolo. If I go to Tamil Nadu, Vanakkam, Namaskaram. And in West Bengal, it is Namaskar. On the dais, the CSIR Foundation's president, the president तो आप है ना, हाँ, founder, chairman, दीनदयाल सीए दीनदयाल अग्रवाल, ताली तो बजना चाहिए ना. Dr. Parvesh Mehra, Dr. Pravesh Mehra, he is an excellent maxillofacial surgeon, and concept note of AI has been given fantastically. Dr. S.K. Barsney, he is also former head of international cooperation and has delivered very nicely with a scientific approach. And at the same time, Dr. P.K. Singh, well delivered, and how he has related health and the agriculture. This is really passionate. Mr. Manish Gupta and Praveen Kanchi, who is like my elder brother, is known to so many years. Today, on the occasion of National Doctors' Day, I'm glad to be present at the 18th National Summit 2024 on Artificial Intelligence in Healthcare, Roadmap, Transformation to Reality, which needs to understand, needs to develop by so many entrepreneurs, and needs to learn, needs to execute, needs to balance. Am I right, sir? I'm delighted to say that the CSR Foundation took the initiative to organize the summit, which will provide a platform and an overview of how artificial intelligence is assisting to improve healthcare. I have observed the brochure. Very nicely, subjects have been chosen. First of all, I would like to take the opportunity to wish all the hard-working and talented doctors on the eve of Doctors' Day, that is tomorrow is 1st July, is the National Doctors' Day. Everyone, happy Doctors' Day. Actually, it is dedicated to the honor of birth and death anniversary of the great physician and the second Chief Minister of West Bengal, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai. I would like to hold the audience little bit away from the AI. That's if we can listen, there's a few incidences of Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai. Really, he had indigenous artificial intelligence. Just I'm telling one example. When he was in England, and his professor was visiting the different wards, and this is infectious ward, this is tuberculosis ward, and this ward is free from all infections and especially the tuberculosis. That means professor wanted to emphasize that there is no tuberculosis patient in this world. And Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai told that possibly here is one tuberculosis patient. You will be astonished to know at that time that professor passed an order to scrutinize all the patient. And ultimately one patient was observed and he was suffering from tuberculosis. And then Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai was asked, how you can tell? He told, I can smell tuberculosis. And nowadays, Dr. Mehra can tell the malignancy is being diagnosed by dog. That means there is also role of smell. Even there are few doctors, those who have practiced carcinoma cervix. I have seen at least 2 doctors. There is a carcinoma cervix up to stage 2. He could say that patient may be possibility of carcinoma cervix. Another incident I am telling. He had a very good sense of humor. He usually tells to the patient, whenever you will get, no problem for the time, whenever you will get, you will be suffering from any symptom, quickly go to the doctor, because doctor needs to survive. And doctor will give prescriptions. Immediately you should go to the pharmacy, because pharmacy needs to survive. And you take the medicine and come at home and throw it. Come with medicine and throw it, because you have to survive. That means he also indicated that now many doctors at the fragrance of their practice tells that 70% of the disease heals spontaneously. Just my previous speaker tells, Dr. P.K. Singh, this is from here. So many. And even with Mahatma Gandhi was in Pune. And in 1943, after long hunger strike, Mahatma Gandhi became ill, and for his treatment, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai was taken. And he told that, I will not take IV drip. That means no drip will be taken by him. Immediately, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai told, well, you would not like to take any chemicals. That's all. You take orange juice. And then he gave orange juice, and Mahatma Gandhi became cured. So many things. One after another. Doctor knows at that time, post-graduation, the completion of post-graduation became very difficult. And especially, if you don't mind, Indian professors, they don't want to pass a boy in single attempt. It was their habit. Am I right? One doctor, he appeared surgery from West Bengal, Bardwan. And all the teachers who were European, they were very much pleased. And they gave very good number. And the professor who is Indian, who was Indian, he told such and such professor have given this. I will put you 0. And he failed. And he conveyed namaskar to all teachers. And he told, sir, I'm going back to my home district. I will not appear in the next time, but I will practice surgery. And really, he practiced surgery from head to foot. And the one day, what honor he was given, you'll be astonished. Just like an instance, possibly you know, there's so many of our very renowned person goes outside even for an appendectomy surgery. One of the artists, film artists, went to England for an interval appendectomy. But our President Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan got acute attack of appendicitis in Russia. And the Russian president told, yes, we can arrange for your surgery here. And Dr. Radhakrishnan told, no, I will be operated by my country. And the continuous flight was given from Moscow to Delhi. Similarly, Deputy High Commissioner of East Pakistan, being suffered from acute appendix, and he was being taken from Dhaka to Kolkata. And at that time, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai was the Chief Minister of West Bengal, but he was so fascinated to that doctor who became failed in surgery. He called him, he took him with a helicopter, as because he was not a surgeon working in the government hospital. Surgeon was a different one, but assistant was that doctor. It was Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai. These days serves great attitude to all those who were working selflessly for the health of their patients. I would also like to wish a very happy National Chartered Accountants Day to all the hard-working CAs. It may be easy to get into chartered accountancy, but it is certainly very difficult to become one. Moving forward, I would like to say that artificial intelligence simplifies the lives of patients, doctors, and hospital administration by performing tasks that are typically done by humans but in less time. AI in healthcare shows up in several ways, such as finding new links between genetic codes, powering surgery assisting robots, automating administrative tasks that has been already told, personalizing treatment options, and much more. Dear all, for example, healthcare workers spend a lot of time during paperwork and other administrative tasks. AI and automation can help perform many of those tasks, freeing up employee time for other activities and giving them more face-to-face time with patients. This is very important. AI can be used to support digital communications, offering scheduled reminders. This is very important. Tailored health tips and suggested next steps to the patients. The ability of AI to aid in health diagnosis also improves the speed and accuracy of patient visits, leading to faster and more personalized care. AI can be used to help identify errors in how a patient self administers medication. As health and fitness monitors become more popular, more people all use apps that track and analyze details about their health. They can share these real-time data sets with their doctors to monitor health issues and provide alerts. in case of problems. Yes, healthcare providers are increasingly adopting wearable devices and sensors to collect data that can be used in research and care. AI algorithms can be used to make sense of these data and turn into useful information. AI is also used to produce personalized treatment plans for patients and take into account such factors as their medical history, environmental factors, lifestyles, and genetic makeup. Using predictive models, healthcare professionals can determine the likelihood that someone might develop a particular condition or contract a disease. One of the most common ways AI is being used in healthcare is in image analysis that also have been mentioned. AI has been applied to medical imaging to detect anomalies in image that could indicate a disease or other medical problems. Some of the best example of this use case are in the fields of radiology and pathology, especially the histopathology, areas that rely heavily on visual analysis. I would like to conclude by saying that AI in healthcare can strengthen preventive care and quality of life, produce more accurate diagnosis and treatment plans, and lead to better patient outcome overall. AI is showing much needed benefits and incredible progress of building a large AI ecosystem. Students should explore the field of AI as well as robotics and other fields of innovation. But yesterday, I went through few quotes from Swami Vivekananda, and I would like to mention these to all of you and also the research and user to keep it in our mind. I will tell one after another. Swami Vivekananda quote, learn everything that is good from others, but bring in and in your own way absorb it. Do not become others. Everything should be in my way. Another is comfort. If we think AI is giving me comfort, never, never. We should not think. We have to use this time for perfection, more perfection. And comfort has no taste of truth. It's very interesting. Comfort has no taste of truth, and truth is often far from being comfortable. And if we think about the science, what is science? Science is organized knowledge, and wisdom is organized life. Science knows no country. That means you have to adopt AI because science will not stop. Because knowledge belongs to humanity and is the torch which illuminates the world. That one day AI also illuminate the world and we should be prepared for it. And at the end, this is very important. In a conflict, in a conflict between the heart and the brain, here heart means not the uh, organ heart. Heart means which is more cordial. Again, in a conflict between the heart and the brain, follow your heart, not only the brain. That means AI is to be controlled by our heart, our emotions, and everything. Let us all explore them and strengthen the healthcare system. Thank you all. Bharat Mata ki jai.
Thank you, sir. थैंक यू डॉक्टर साहब। सर आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि हमारे कुछ डॉक्टर्स बाहर से भी आए हैं एज ए पार्टिसिपेंट, तो 5, 7, 10 लोगों में चाहूँ आपके द्वारा मोमेंट को दिया जाए, सम्मान किया जाए। 5 मिनट लगे सर प्लीज। और मैं अजय सिंह जी साहब से कहूंगा कि जो नए चेयर करेंगे सर, वो लेट है आधे घंटे, फिर भी कोई बात नहीं सर, पर 5-7 मिनट चाहिए प्लीज। थैंक यू। आई रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर CK शिवाना जी कम फॉरवर्ड। डॉक्टर अर्चना मौजूदा
हेलो,
आप डॉक्टर CK शिवाना जी हैं। डॉक्टर शिवाना जी CPCL से आए हुए हैं, आप इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर हैं। डॉक्टर अर्चना मजवार जी, आप इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर मोबाइल लिमिटेड। आप भी बंगाल से मिले जी। जी जी जी। नेक्स्ट डॉक्टर विकास जी।
Dr. Archana Majumdar is also very close to me, and we always work together in West Bengal.
थैंक यू सर। अर्चना जी पहले भी हमारे प्रोग्राम में आ चुकी हैं। डॉक्टर विकास जी, डॉक्टर आशीष जैन जी, अच्छा डॉक्टर स्वाति वाजपेयी जी, स्वाति जी, डॉक्टर DS वर्मा जी, आप सभी लोग आप देहरादून से हैं, आप स्वाति जी शिव सागर से। तो हम चाह रहे हैं कि डॉक्टर डॉक्टर DS वर्मा जी, डॉक्टर नोवेल मैथ्यू जी आए हुए, आइए। आप दिल्ली से, और डॉक्टर मैथ्यू जी शायद अहमदाबाद से। डॉक्टर नोवेल मैथ्यू जी, डॉक्टर गोपीनाथ नायर, अनिल कुमार जी, आप राष्ट्रीय केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर से हैं। बस हमारा सौभाग्य है कि राष्ट्रीय केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर हमारी डॉक्टर अजय शंकर सिंह जी भी हैं। तो डॉक्टर SS सिन्हा जी मुंबई से आए हुए हैं। डॉक्टर सिन्हा जी, अब अनिल जी आ गए। अनिल जी आप, अजय जी आप आओ ना, आ जाओ। अच्छा, श्री महेश कुमार जी हैं, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन। हमारे LIC से जो हमारे स्पॉन्सर हैं, वो कोई भी कैनेडी सवाल जी हैं। एंड एजेंट टीम जो भी आपके LIC के हैं, बस लास्ट अब मैं चाहूंगा कि वेदांत गोस्वामी जी आए और हमारे चीफ गेस्ट का मोमेंटो से शुरुआत करें, डॉक्टर सुभाष सरकार जी का। सुभाष सरकार जी का चलिए 2 मिनट ये हमारा IT एक्सपर्ट है, तो मैं दीवान से कहूँगा वो आए। पंकज जी हैं, पंकज त्रिवेदी जी, भाभी जी आप आ जाइए। PK सिंह जी का स्वागत करें। PK सिंह जी का ऊपर चक्का बड़ा आइए सर, आप भी आइए प्लीज, आप इनका सम्मान करें, आप भी आ जाइए मैडम, मैं या उधर से आ जाइए आप, आइए। और ये SK बासले जी का, इसके बाद मंद्रा जी आप आइए एक बार, SK बासले जी। मंद्रा मेहरा जी SK बासले जी का स्वागत करेंगे। अब मंद्रा मेहरा जी हैं और नो डाउट डॉक्टर मेहरा जी की अब मुनीष गुप्ता जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि 1 मिनट में अपना वोट ऑफ थैंक्स देंगे।
I think everybody here has been thanked often enough by speakers, but let me just say that through this inaugural session, one important thing that I would note, I'm a student of science before turning to media, is that artificial intelligence and machine learning and coding, etc., are technology boons that can serve humanity. But among the don'ts that we've heard even from Dr. Subhash Sarkar is that we must emphasize harnessing the power, quality, and dimensions of AI to serve humanity in every sector, including health. But it is human intelligence that is the essence of creation and that created AI. Let's not forget that. We must thank the dignitaries and luminaries on and off the dais and all the honored attendees. Before I take the opportunity to thank everybody here, let me also thank somebody that I respect and honor a lot, who's among the attendees, and one of my and our mentors and a patron is Professor Rajkumar Bhatia ji, who's here with us today. Thank you, Professor Saab, for coming in. We must thank Dr. Subhash Sarkar for his wonderful words of wisdom. And of course, the anecdotes, I love them. Dr. Pravesh Mehra, who set the tone for the conference. Dr. S.K. Varshney, a very dear friend, for telling us the various dimensions. Dr. P.K. Singh, for a wonderful connection between agriculture and the subject of today. And of course, uh, Dr. Kant, and my dear friend, Dr. Deen Dayal Agarwal, who is always doing wonderful things in CSR Research Foundation, Mr. VP Mahabar, who's the president of CSR Research Foundation, and all those gathered here. I think CSR is a very important tool that must be used widely and wisely. And thank you very much for attending this session.
With this, we conclude the inaugural session. We'll start the first session. I would like to request Sri Ajay Singh.
By the time everyone settles, am I audible?
वो माइक नहीं ऑन होगा
Hello, hello.
क्राउड
I'll request everyone to settle down. We'd like to begin our next session. I invite Dr. Ajay Chaudhary. Dr. Ajay Chaudhary to please come on the stage, dais. Then Dr. Saurabh Ghosh. Dr. Saurabh Ghosh. Mr. Arun Jha. Dr. Manoj Goyal. Dr. Mandeep Singh Malhotra. And Dr. Anup. Safdarjung Hospital, Dr. Anup. I guess Dr. Arun Chaudhary is not there. Since program is already delayed, with the permission of all of you, I'd like to proceed further so that we are not delaying it, anymore. So now, by and large, except Dr. Ajay Chaudhary, everyone is around. So with the group, I'd like to quickly figure out, shall we begin in the way names are written, or will you like to have your own preference? The plan is that we'll devote about maybe 5 to 7 minutes or 10 minutes to touch upon the area of expertise. And then in the end, I'll be concluding based on whatever deliberations take place. So if it is okay with all of you, we proceed. So may I request Dr. Anup to begin, or Dr. Manoj? Please, please. Dr. Anup. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Anup.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the organizers for inviting me to this wonderful, unique concept of AI. And because I am a robotic surgeon, basically I deal with cancers and kidney transplant. I do with robot. So I think AI is there uh, for the help of doctors and with the patients. And we are using AI for last almost 2 years now. So how AI can help, in healthcare, especially the urology part. I will be just dealing with my urology expertise. So if we start with the diagnosis part, so for prostate cancer, let us say we do MRI prostate before doing any biopsy, and in the MRI prostate we go for scoring. There's score known as pirate scoring. According to that scoring, we decide and we plan for our biopsy for the prostate cancer. So this is a very important diagnostic tool. So now if we go with the AI based reporting of the MRI, then it's more accurate as compared to human doing the reporting. It has been observed. And so this is the future, that we use the AI for reporting the complex cases on MRI and CT scan. Let us say CA prostate or CA kidney, and now we have virate scoring in CA bladder. So this is one way that the AI is going to help in diagnosis. This will help the patients because we will get accurate diagnosis, and the chances of errors will be minimized, and human errors will be minimized. So we are using this AI, as I said, for MRI reporting, so that we can plan biopsy for the patient, and also in CA kidney we are using AI to use various 3D models. We use 3D models to formulate the relation with the cancer with the kidney, and then we plan our surgery according to that 3D model. So these are two areas where we are using the AI in urology. This for diagnosis. And we talk about the treatment. I think the robot, uh, the basic concept of robot, it's a master slave system where the surgeon sits on the console and we use the levers, and with the movements are transmitted through the wire to the robotic arms which are actually moving in the patient's abdomen and doing the surgery. So how does AI can help in robotic surgery? So we have been using some models of AI. Let us say when we do the robotic radical prostatectomy, that is for CA prostate. So when we go for nerve sparing in radical prostatectomy, we don't know where the nerves are going. So AI can help us in like a GPS system when we use in our cars to tell us these are the nerve bundles which are going along the prostate surface, and we can actually go there and save them. And we save the nerve bundles, patient will have good continence after surgery, because you all know after CA prostate surgery, patients often have this doubt that they will keep on leaking urine, number one, and also they will lose erections. So we can save these bundles, patient can have good continence and also have good erections. So in a way, it is going to improve the quality of life of the patient, number one. And number two, it also helps us in telling where the cancer is there on the surface of the prostate, so we can avoid going into that area, and we can avoid the any tumor spillage in that area, so that it can have good oncological outcomes. So this is one example I have given for the CA prostate. We are using AI. Now, second example is the CA kidney, when we do partial nephrectomy with a robot. So here the main task is to save the kidney. I just want to remove the cancer and I want to save the remaining kidney, because the kidney is precious. And especially in very complex cancers, AI comes to our help. AI tells us, okay, this is the tumor and the major vessels of the kidney are going in which direction. I can save those vessels and I can save the kidney. I mean, in a very simple language, I'm telling. So this is how partial nephrectomy robotically AI comes to our help. So these are two examples I've given you where AI is helping us right now. What is the future? The future of AI in urology and for patients for cancers in the urology, I can say that actually we can predict that how much deep you have to go when we resect the tumor, and we can save maximum kidney parenchyma during the surgery. So these are some of the ways AI is helping us in urology. And similarly in kidney transplant, we do robotic kidney transplant, and it's a very tedious surgery. So that the AI will help us in telling us in complicated cases that you are very close to major vessels when you're doing surgery and you can avoid complications. So AI can tell us the correct planes, number one, and number two, it can help us in avoiding complications. So which in fact will translate into better outcomes and less complication for the patients. So this, I think, in nutshell, AI is helping us as a urologist, uh, to surgeon as well as to the patients in field of cancers and transplant. So I've just given two examples, a lot of, but its time is short. I just wanted to keep it short. Thank you so much. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Dr. Manoj, Dr. Manoj, questions and answers will take later, maybe in the end.
Yeah, good afternoon. At the outset, I'd like to thank CSR and Dr. Mehra in particular for inviting me for this session. Being in medical education, can I have a presentation, please? Manoj, go ahead. See, a lot has been said so far, and there are a lot of slides which I'll run through, but I'll take this opportunity that how AI is helping in medical education. This one? Okay. See, the challenges you see today is there's a digital divide. There's a resistance to change among our people and the concerns about data privacy. And as it's been told by earlier speakers, I'm not going much into details, but this is a pervasive phenomenon. AI must influence and change the course of medical education. And it's going to step in a big way, and it's here going to stay. Why is there the need for AI in medical education? There is increased student load. There are new information overload in the net or in the cloud, new concept in research data analysis, and it has come as a very powerful tool and adjunct to human intelligence. The role which technology or AI is going to play in education is access to information, interactive learning tools, and personalized learning experiences. By offering e-learning platforms, we have seen during COVID and pandemic, when there were no offline classes, there were no classes. This helped a lot in teaching and training the student, and access to digital textbooks and resources. Learning in the campus of future, is it going to be governed by flashy gadgets like iPhone, laptops, or the products designed for a specific target market? The accessibility to rich only, or it's going to change the course of the medical education? The VR with the virtual reality, augmented reality for surgical training, high fidelity simulators for medical procedures are going to be the future in medical education. These are few initiatives which are normally being taken, which we enhancing surgical training with immersive technologies, providing interactive and practical learning experiences, and preparing students for modern healthcare commitments. The new concept of visual sciences, which is medical imaging teaching systems, which include anatomy, radiology, and pathology, while multiple data and quick comparison will help you to have better understanding for medical graduates. The use of VR, as I mentioned, for surgical simulation, AR, and simulation labs. They are the future in medical training. We have seen this is being adopted by a majority of the medical institutions these days. But there are limitations. They are unable to know what is being taught. More complex query. You cannot track the expertise a student is going to follow. What are the devices? If you study a case study which was published by Stanford University, they say it can be wearable devices like I've mentioned, data informatics, you can track your fitness. It could be data science tools, incorporation of big data, or telemedicine platforms which are training in remote patient monitoring and virtual consultations. And this has proved very useful tool, particularly COVID and pandemic times. This is going to help the employability of medical graduates. They will be skilled for digital health careers, better readiness for tech-driven healthcare system, because so far the medical education has been only restrained to training them as medical graduates or specialists. This, I think, part has been covered. We have taken few steps at our university level to initiate this. The first challenge was to create an infrastructure, setting up of state-of-art of simulation labs and e-learning center, which involves huge cost. But to share with you, like AIMS model has developed a collaboration with IIT Delhi to set up an robotics center in Delhi for medical simulation labs. We involved technology partners for our VR and AR tools. Faculty was trained to conduct eICUs during COVID, and TCS has been our industry partner. Student engagement, promoting use of e-learning resources and simulation labs. We adopted this eICU model because this was the only way you can better utilize human resources in pandemic particularly. And this was the ICU, which we set tele-ICU for monitoring of our patient during COVID. And we were awarded by the CIA in best innovation in healthcare during the pandemic model. Is virtual digital resection labs, which is another area for medical training. It is clean and comfortable. Confidently face the picture of death, morphology mosaic, real human body. It's very easy to understand the human anatomy in given scenario. This is use of holographs and VR in our setup to train our medical graduates.
Right? So now you can adjust the density, the brightness, the contrast, everything. Followed by that, just take it to the sagittal plane, I think.
This is to share that how the medical teaching has innovated and how what we can see a 360-degree assessment of the human body.
See, now there is a layer by layer dissection in the 3D model rendered on screen in the sagittal plane. Likewise, you can do it through the coronal plane or the axial plane. Right?
We have an industry partner in which we have tried. And being a surgeon myself, I always like to apply myself with the new technologies. This is the actual cadaveric dissections we have to carry out. Using holographic image here. So is it the now AI teaching system which is going to adopt it? We have seen our teachers when they were teaching anatomy and other subjects, but we are now switching to lightweight tutors carrying e-learning tools with them. It's good in terms of student overload, time constraints, and distance education. But the only thing which has been talked, the emotional condition of the patient is not factored in. The art of medical reasoning will abolish. Spoon feeding, is it really good for medical profession? Because there will not be much scope for judgment and problem solving behavior. There will be knowledge gaps. We need to figure out tools that will make our students more smarter rather than dumb. I'll just finish in another 1 or 2 minutes. AI is indispensable, but if the circuits play havoc, how, how are you going to do with that? Ethico-legal complications, the role of mind, machine, and morals. What are the ethical involved in that? Are we trying to play God by bringing these technologies in our system? We always say it's the man behind the machine, which is always important more than the machine. Now, with the theme, this is transformation, we can say whether the AI is a myth, is it a hope, or is it a hype? That we need to find. I think I will end my presentation here and open the discussion for that. There's a lot of scope of use of AI in medical education and healthcare, but it has to be used with care. And there are certain factors which are beyond the machines, where the human interface between the teacher and the student and the healthcare worker and the patient is going to stay there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj. Dr. Manoj is Chancellor of Santosh University, deemed university, and it is evident from his presentation the way he has, talked about in-depth work being done in the case of learning through simulation and artificial intelligence. Prior to him, we had Dr. Anup, who is professor and head of Vardhaman Mahavir Medical Center and Safdarjung Hospital. So now I request Mr. Arun. Mr. Arun is Indian Economic Service Officer. He is Senior Advisor in John Snow India, former Principal Advisor, Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India.
Thank you, CSR Foundation. Welcome, everybody. I will just touch upon the thing which I am doing right now, that is tuberculosis. And what happens that many of us may not be knowing what is tuberculosis problem as such. We all are aware of that TB is there. But can you imagine that even now, more than 28 lakh people suffer from TB every year. Every year, there are 3,50,000. It is the third biggest killer in India. Much more bigger than the COVID, much more than malaria, HIV, combined together is less than the death under TB. But since it is a slow death, nobody is able to understand why it is like this. Another big problem is in the TB that there is a missing case. Out of 28 lakhs, even now at this time, when we have a target to end TB by 2025, hardly 25 lakhs people are notified. 7 years back, 1 million cases were missing. We have covered a long distance over the last 7 years after Prime Minister announced this NTB target, much 5 years before the SDG target, Sustainable Development Goal of UN target. So in the TB, what we used to tell that Dr. Mehra, he is fully aware that we used to say that we will treat the TB when we find the person. So when we are not able to find what to do, then what happened that during the COVID, I was a part of the member of one empowered group committee, the highest body to take decision for the COVID. So what happened that US aid, along with the Badwani group, they started one cup sound based COVID experiment that how we can find out from the cough itself whether the person is suffering from the COVID or not. So as happens in the artificial intelligence, this is what is very interesting. You will try to find something else, but you will find something else. But we were not able to, they were not able to do that, despite the case almost 30,000 COVID cases were, their sound were taken, but they, artificial intelligence, that they could not, software could not establish that. But it shifted to TB, tuberculosis. And today we have got a software which is almost 80% accurate. So through the, it is available on the this Google Play also, but normal person cannot do it. Only in the hospital setup or the clinical setup it will be used. So what happens that with the distance of 3 feet away from the patients, that symptomatic person, and you just ask him to cough and it will give a result which is almost 90% correct. So what happens that artificial intelligence is able to read out from the cough sound. So that is very important. And it was first developed by Badwani. Now NIC in Government of India has also been able to develop, one this cough sound based software. Third one industry, that Swasa, it is called Swasa, and Doctrinal. They have also are developing, and almost they have developed. So point I'm saying is suddenly 4 or 5 players have come into this cough sound based to test not only TB, any chest infection will be ascertained by that cough sound based AI technology. Related to that, in the TB world itself, there is a Cure AI. It was developed by the IIT students to read X-ray. Even a very good radiologist will not be able to say accurately more than 90% of the X-ray thing. But within 2 minutes, that artificial intelligence software is able to tell you everything. And presently they did it in the Everest base, base camp of Everest, where they just try to show the world that how artificial intelligence can be embedded in the X-ray to find out TB and other chest infections. So, point I'm saying that it has a tremendous scope in the public health system. As Dr. Sawa was saying about the, prostate, everywhere it is this, but in the public health, it has a very, very larger implication. In 3 minutes, that AI based, that sound, the cough sound, will be able to tell that whether he is suffering from any chest infection, any tuberculosis or not. Whether that X-ray can be read or studied, and the accurate, reading as result will be out in 2 minutes. So what happens that you take X-ray somewhere else, send it by mail, and 2 minutes you will get even at the remotest corner of the country. I just gave you an example, the Everest base camp, it was done. So I think we are moving to right direction, but of course, ethics, data privacy, these are the things which will be taken care of by regulator, but we need not worry about that. Something will come, then something other will also come. It always happens in the government, always happens in the society. So thank you very much. Thanks again, CSR, Dr. Mehra and Dr. Deen Dayal Agarwal, and everybody connected with that. Thank you very much.
Through his wide experience, Arunji, touched upon the area of identifying the usability of data and how the software is being put to use. And though he briefly mentioned about ethics and regulatory framework, saying that that will definitely be taken care of, to me that is also very critical, and hopefully government of India will put in their brains behind, and something will definitely happen very soon. Because that is one area which is very, very critical. We cannot leave our data and the entire repository of personal information in the hands of artificial intelligence, that too uncontrolled and unregulated. So in tuberculosis, the work which is being done by different organizations, including Government of India, is definitely one eye opener, and a lot of work is required to be done further. Hopefully, AI will definitely be put to use, and it will bring things to table and improve our cases further. It is really disheartening to know the kind of casualties which are happening in our country. So hope that artificial intelligence will bring it down. Now, I will request Saurabh ji, Dr. Saurabh Ghosh, to tell us about his experience on AI. He is Professor, Department of Textile Engineering in IIT Delhi. Professor Saurabh.
So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Pravesh Mehra for inviting me, as well as I would like to thank the organizers. This purpose of this project is to identify the osteoarthritis, because in early stage, osteoarthritis patients will feel knee joint pain. They will have a lot of difficulties in walking. But if you find radiological evidence, then you will not find anything. And then there are a lot of dispute between the different type of experts about their diagnosis. So we would like to first develop a deep learning method by which we can identify which method will give better prediction, and as compared to, we will have over performance over the manual grading. And then based on in terms of faster diagnosis, reduce biasness of these experts, as well as reproducibility and reliability. So we collaborated with the Apollo Hospital. Dr. Raju Vaishya supplied that cartilage biopsies to us. And then we tried to analyze these histological biopsies by safranin O staining, as well as by hematoxylin and eosin. Next slide, please. Okay. So first, the method is to have supervised deep learning method, and that method will try to have data collection, sorting, labeling, training, and validation. So for example, we can have this histological biopsy, and we have stained with safranin O. And first step is tiling, that we can select 300 pixel by 300 pixel size. And then we have removed some slides because some background is coming, or because of various other reasons. And then 80% of these tiles are validated by a experienced user, that is user 1, and the rest 20% will be as testing slide, so that will be performed by the user 2. And finally, we selected 4 deep learning methods. For example, ResNet 50, DenseNet 121, VGG 16, Inception V3. And then we will try to have a gradient weighted class average system to map or visualize all this histological sectioning. So finally, we will try to identify which method will give best possible result by the best performing model with higher accuracy. So these are different parameters we selected for this histological analysis. So for example, if you are aware of osteoarthritis, so we can identify the staining intensity, we can identify orientation of cells, as well as when osteoarthritis progresses, then there will be hypertrophy and cell size will be very large in dimension. So we can score all these parameters based on 0 to 3. So we can conclude that higher is the grade, higher will be the severity of osteoarthritis prognosis. So this is one particular slide where we can mark 20 different parameters, and then we can give different type of numbers to different sections. So from one patient, we got that biopsy, and we scored that particular patient as 3.65. So we can approximately say that this point is approximately around 4. That means this patient is suffering from osteoarthritis that is moderate to severe. And then we will also check the reproducibility and reliability of that model. And then these are the analysis of accuracy and loss plot. So these orange curves represent the training log, and the blue curves represent the testing log. And we can conclude that DenseNet 121 will give the best possible deep learning method to analyze these histological biopsies. So then we can develop the fast user one, which is extremely knowledgeable about this analysis or the diagnosis of osteoarthritis model. User two is almost like a layman, and from them we can develop a better model system, that is automatic model. So we are trying to visualize the model one versus user one, model two versus user two, and then we can conclude that its ideal model would have non-zero values only at the diagonal purpose. So two best performing models were RaceNet 50 as well as DenseNet 121. And this is the last slide of my talk. So we tried to first develop the user one model, user two model, and the basic model. And then from Apollo Hospital, we got a lot of different biopsies. And then we tried to fit those models with our existing model system. And then we scored. So based on all this scoring, we tried to find out that there should be an ideal deep learning method which will be trained and tested with limited data set of cartilage biopsies. And then we could identify that collective grades obtained from the histological styles were very much in matching with the expert cartilage biopsies or the histological or the clinical persons. So this method will try to reduce the scoring bias or improve the reliability, reproducibility, as well as there will be inter-user agreement. So that if the different users are grading those biopsies, they will also come to the same particular point. So we published this particular story in Tissue Engineering Part A in 2023. So now there are some other limitations. So for example, we can also include collagen fibers. So as osteoarthritis happens, so all the collagen fibers will get degraded. So there will be difference in intensity of staining. So one student is trying to make further study to make it a even more convincing model. So then we also talked to Dr. Raju Vaishya, and he told that they do the cartilage biopsies only in terms of disputed diagnosis. So most of the patients will come to Apollo Hospital with knee joint pain, and then they will have only MRI. So there is one international standard, that MOC score. So that is MRI osteoarthritic knee score. So that is international platform. So they will have different parameters. So along with that, they have incorporated another 3-4 parameters. So we developed another paper based on that process, and now they are very much optimistic about implementing that model in Apollo Hospital. So there are, as Dr. Sarkar came, so from Bankura Sammilani Medical College, one doctor requested us to develop another AI-based model. So they are having large premature, that pregnant ladies' death. So these ladies do not come to the hospital, but only at 8 months of pregnancy or 9 months of pregnancy they come, and then they have heart attack, and then almost they are having 5 times more number of deaths compared to last 3-4 years. So we are also working for that type of projects. So thank you so much for your kind attention.
So thank you, Dr. Saurabh. It's really heartening to see that, from textile to tissue in human body, the smallest part, you have taken us through, and the complexities have been worked on. And the ideal way of letting AI work is to create enormous data, do the stratification of the data. You need to, through human intervention, you need to stratify, put data into perspective and tabulate it so that computer can further, as a machine tool can use it. So your work is really commendable. Thank you, Dr. Saurabh. Now I will invite Dr. Mandeep. He is senior consultant, CK Birla Hospital. He is an expert in oncology, and that is the killer thing nowadays. Every household is hearing about this. So over to Dr. Mandeep.
I would first like to express my gratitude towards the organizers, Dr. Pravesh. So, for having me here, and this is something which is very important and relevant to us at this point of time. That what is the use of AI in healthcare? And I'll share my experience of last few months or years of how we are using AI in our practice. More or less, this is the same kind of stuff which my esteemed friends have shared. It's just a pictorial representation of what exactly are we doing. Uh, इससे चल रहा है ठीक है. So basically, I'm a surgical oncologist, and also I've uh, done certifications in robotic surgery. Also, I'm a molecular oncology certified from Germany. So there's a common thought among us as healthcare professionals: is AI going to replace us? This generates a bit of insecurity amongst us, but no. AI is the future, and it will improve the healthcare significantly. And it has a very important roles as previously discussed in diagnostics, in surgical procedures, in treatment planning. So this is a story like in India, most common cancer is breast cancer, and the solution to breast cancer lies early detection. For early detection, we need to take early detection methodology to the remotest corners of a country. So we can have mammograms, we can have ultrasounds, we can have technology, but the most difficult person to replace is the trained radiologist who will report all these findings. So that is where, so I'm working with two young Indian girls who have got recently selected as they're awarded by Harvard University, in which they are supplementing AI over ultrasounds. So we can try it, which are the suspicious lesions and which are the non-suspicious lesions. So non-suspicious lesions can be then rest assured, and suspicious lesions can be further investigated. Again, we are one of the first guys to start working on Niramaya. Niramaya, I'm a clinical consultant to them. So what does Niramaya do? Niramaya basically does the thermolytic scanning for breasts. And thermolytic says that when cancer develops, the temperature increases. When temperature increases, there is high chances that we'll detect the cancer at non-palpable stage. अभी लम पैल्पेट नहीं हुआ, मैं वहां पकड़ लूंगा. अगर मैंने वहां पे कैंसर पकड़ लिया, मैं 90% सर्वाइवल लाऊंगा. और मैं कैसे लाऊंगा? So I just need an infrastructure. I just need a technician to do that. And after that, the reports would be scanned by the AI and it would be monitored by the radiologist. So we can have AI supplemented reports, and they can let us know that this is the patient who needs to be stratified, and this is the patient which can be rest assured. So this is again a very important project, and this has been awarded by the government of India. Even Bill Gates Foundation is one of the great startups of our country. Now, as doctor had discussed previously, that difficult situations. Now, this is a patient who has a neck mass. It's involving the carotid. It's right up to the carotid. So I'm very much whether I should operate or I should not operate. If I operate, whether I'll be able to remove it completely or not, I'll not be able to remove it completely. And this is a very difficult surgery. Why? Because it's not that initially I'll make a decision. I'll go right at the end, and then if I find a situation that I have to tie the carotid artery. So carotid artery is the blood vessel supply to our brain. So if we have two carotids, one right, one left. So AI can let us give me a more clear picture. What will be the result when I'll be going there? And if I have to tie that vessel, whether my brain would be able to sustain on the contralateral side, and whether I would develop paralysis or not. So these are the informations which AI would let us know, and AI would help us to take such difficult decisions. As doctor was discussing in kidney transplants and prostate cancer surgeries. So that difficult decisions we don't want to take intraoperatively. We want to take it beforehand. If the kidney can be preserved, I would be happy if I have a preempt that this kidney can be preserved, this kidney cannot be preserved. So these are the few factors of AI. Now this is a patient, this we have published also. So we reconstructed a jawbone. The patient is fine post cancer. He doesn't have a jaw. So AI with 3D imaging model, we actually, the implant was planted on the opposite mandible. So how the actual mandible would have looked and how the actual mandible would have functioned. Now after 15 years, I don't have any option to have the actual mandible, how the patient would have actually had a mandible. So this implant, this AI is the only way where I can replace the actual mandible and I can implant an implant according to the actual mandible. I can actually design my implant, I can rectify my implant, and this is what is then when we actually go and put in, so we can achieve at least 95% success rates. So this is how it makes healthcare better. Now coming to robotic surgery. So why robotic surgery in AI? Because robotic surgery provides us with digital data. That is the only where laparoscopic robotic is the where we get digital data in surgical procedures, where otherwise surgery is analog. मेरा टीचर ने मुझे सिखाया, मैंने अपने स्टूडेंट को सिखाया, तो ऐसे जाता है. बट आज पहली बार क्या है, रोबोट में वी कैन हैव डिजिटल डेटा. So what is digital data? There's a console, there is a patient which is being operated, patient card, and the surgeon sits in the console area. And so this is just an example. So we had a breast cancer. So it was a multicentric. We used a robot to go inside the breast, remove the cancer. So this is a cancer which is removed. We used a robot to go at the back area. We harvested the tissue, we brought it back, and we reconstructed the breast. So patient went in with cancer, patient went out with the breast, original breast, same breast. Now, what does robot do? Robot gives me this images. So this kind of images are we get when we are doing surgeries. And I would request Government of India, actually, if somebody is there, that we are actually using robots from the international companies. And all this data is being stored in the US servers. And what they are doing is that they would be actually, what will happen, like in our cars, we have ADAS system, ADAS level 1, ADAS level 2. So what will happen in future? That I'll be operating, I'll be getting signals, like as doctor was telling that nerve ke paas nahi jana hai, so I'll be getting signals that this is dangerous area, don't proceed this is the right area, proceed like this. So that is how the AI would help us in doing surgeries better. So again, I just wanted, this is not, I can understand this is not a forum to show all these pictures, but I just wanted you to understand that why robot is connected with AI, why not open surgery is connected with AI? Because robot provides us with digitalized images. And on that, every hospital in India, which is signing on a robot at this point of time, we are signing on that, sir, that we are signing on that we are giving the companies authority to utilize these digital images to develop a future AI which they'll sell in millions. And this is our patient, our Indian data. This is what is happening at this point of time. हमको किसी डॉक्टर को पता ही नहीं होता सर ये चीज. So this is what the robot gives us. Last, I'll come to the liquid biopsies. So liquid biopsies is that we can actually, we are coming at a stage where we will not be able to do invasive biopsies. I can just take a blood sample. In that blood sample, I can identify the tumor cell. I can identify the tumor DNA. I can grow that tumor cell. I can grow that tumor DNA in labs. So this is a project which is, I think IIT Jodhpur is working on it. So uh, we are working in collaboration with Germany. So this is, we can make tumoroids in labs. And what happens is, so this gives me an information, which is a chemotherapy drug which will work on my patient. Which is the immunotherapy drug which will work on my patient. Immunotherapy drug 2.5 से 5 लाख का एक इंजेक्शन आता है. वो लगाने से पहले मुझे पता तो होगा कि वो काम भी कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है. मेरे को कैंसर का एक एक पाथवे पता होगा कि कौन सा पाथवे कहाँ चल रहा है. ये सब एनालिसिस ह्यूमनली पॉसिबल नहीं है. दिस नीड्स डिजिटलाइज्ड डेटा, दिस नीड्स AI for giving us information so that we can work on it. I'll give you another thing. आज हम डाइट की बात कर रहे थे सर, इसको सर नीचे पढ़ोगे आप तो आपको पता लगेगा, कुरकुमिन का इफेक्ट भी पता लग जाएगा मेरे को कि कैंसर पे काम करेगी कि नहीं करेगी। मेरे को बर्बरिन का इफेक्ट भी पता लग जाएगा कि वो काम करेगी कि नहीं करेगी। मेरे को हाई डोज IV विटामिन सी का इफेक्ट भी पता लग जाएगा कि वो काम करेगा कि नहीं करेगा। I'll give you example. These are live examples which we have done. This is a stage 4 CA breast, multiple lines treated. मतलब कीमो लेके तंग हो गए, रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आ रहा था। We got the analysis done. We understood which chemotherapy we should be giving. The important part was कि there is an MDR MRP, ये जीन्स है कैंसर रेजिस्टेंस की, कि कीमोथेरेपी काम ही नहीं करेगी क्योंकि कैंसर ने उसके अगेंस्ट रेजिस्टेंस बना ली है। और रेजिस्टेंस को कैसे कम करूंगा, मुझे आयुर्वेदा की मदद लेनी पड़ेगी। और मुझे कौन सी आयुर्वेदा की मदद लेनी पड़ेगी वो मुझे AI बताएगा। तो दीज आर द कैंसर पाथवेज। ये हमने ये भी समझा कौन सी कीमोथेरेपी, कौन सी इम्यूनोथेरेपी। So this is the patient protocol. So we put her in chemotherapy, we used Ayurveda, and after 9 cycles, we got a good response. This is actual implementation of AI. Another patient, tongue cancer, अब रिकरेंस हो गया, कीमो भी लग गया, रिकरेंस भी हो गया, अब ये नहीं पता चल रहा टारगेटेड की तरफ जाना है, इम्यूनो की तरफ जाना है। अगेन बायोप्सी लेना मुश्किल क्योंकि मुंह नहीं खुल रहा। ब्लड सैंपल, वी गॉट द बायोप्सी डन, वी गॉट द एनालिसिस डन। हमें पता लगा कि मुझे ये टारगेटेड देनी है, मुझे ये पता लगा कि मुझे कौन सी डाइट ठीक करनी है, मुझे कौन सी सप्लीमेंट देना है। और वी डिड अ सैल्वेज सर्जरी। जब हमने सर्जरी करा तो 10% वायबल ट्यूमर निकला, बाकी सारा 90% ट्यूमर वाज डेड। दिस पेशेंट इज नाउ 2 years, ही इज सर्वाइविंग। और सैल्वेज पोस्ट हेड एंड नेक कैंसर रिकरेंस जब होता है तो गूगल बोलता है 20% सर्वाइवल रेट है। So this is just an initial experience which I'm sharing with you. What I'm trying to say is that हम AI को गवर्न करें वो बेटर है, ना कि फ्यूचर में AI हमको गवर्न करे। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Dr. Mandeep. Your punchline was really very, touchy, and we are unfortunately heading towards that unless we get into the domain of developing AI software. We'll work like police the way we have been working in software sector primarily. It took almost 20 years to come up with our own patent, which is still not registered in India. Mind it, no software is patented in India. So unfortunately, a lot of work is required to be done. But in robotics, as you pointed out, a lot of work is being done in Europe and America. And anybody who is leading technology is going to rule the world. So better we start now, better we start quickly as an organization, as an institution. We will otherwise be run by AI, and AI will be manually operated version from USA, or they will be controlling the data, they will be guiding us how my surgeon will work, how my patient will be treated, and majority of symptoms will be from this area or from Europe. Without synthesizing them, probably they will come up with some analysis which may not be true reflection of what is actually happening in India. So thank you for forewarning us on that, and I hope that policy makers will definitely work on it, and entire medical fraternity will be, aware of this aspect, and something will be done. I have been given a very, nice job. The team selection by Deen Dayal ji for my panel is wonderful. Everybody, completed their part within the time. So I was not required to remind any of you. Thank you for being so accurate, so to the point, and keeping the constraint in mind. As a moderator or as a panelist, I also have some moral responsibility of uttering a few words. So I'll not be, running away from that. My domain is, my take is slightly different. All along in medical sciences, we are working on or working towards either preventive data analysis or actual data analysis on the patients who are there. Believe me, this country has got humongous data, at least with NIC. So much data is there. Unfortunately, we are not correlating that data to cull out a meaningful information. I'll give a couple of examples. We have about 14 crore Manrega workers. We have almost every Manrega worker covered through Ayushman card. We have databases on their diseases, their treatment, which is happening, and that is stored somewhere else. I have not done any profiling regarding the preventive part of medication which can be done for a particular category of worker who is doing menial work in the country. I have the data. Now, if AI is put to use, it will definitely throw out some data regarding people who are in Dungarpur of Rajasthan, what kind of ailments they are generally suffering with. If they are doing menial work, what kind of ailments are getting pronounced. So all this data is available, mind it is available. The only need of the hour is to develop some tool to collate that data, derive some meaningful input from there, information from there, and that is the role of AI. But unfortunately, as my colleague mentioned that, entire brain work on AI is by and large happening elsewhere. So it is not their priority. Their priority is minting money through low-hanging fruits. This preventive part will not be taken care of by them, so we have to take care of it. I just gave one example. There are plethora of cases where we are sitting on billions of gigabytes of data under different silos, and they are not talking to each other. And looking at the size and complexity of the country, it is virtually impossible for the human brain to work on that. So we need to work very fast and come up with some AI tools to develop, mechanism of figuring out what are the variables which I need to capture, what are the variables I need to give to health department, what are the variables I need to give to, social sector department for furthering their social sector schemes, and so on, so forth. So with this, I, conclude this part where we did the talking. Now I'll request all of you, if you have any query with any of the panelists, please introduce yourself and raise the query. I know we are nearing lunch time, so everybody after having soup will be eagerly looking forward to having lunch. But I'll assure you the team has been very, very punctual, so they'll not be taking much longer time. So please carry on. Please tell us about your query, your observations, or anything you want to add. Thank you very much.
Any questions? वो एक्चुअली प्रेजेंटेशन इतना जबरदस्त है कि किसी को क्वेश्चन पूछने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा, सबने बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन कर दिया. ओह, आपका एक क्वेश्चन है. माइक यार, माइक पास ऑन करो तो.
Hi, this is Pallavi Mohan. My question is to Mr. Singh. Very good presentation. And when you said that particular technology is capturing data, AI data, the example which you took of breast cancer and then, modifications and stuff, and then finally it was cured. So what kind of data is stored in that particular machine? And how can we use it? Right now, the rights are given to the other because they're using that particular machine and getting some particular data, but what we should do or what we should promote to the government that we start getting all that data, because it's our, client, or you can say customer or patient in this case.
So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that now when we are looking into robotic surgeries, so robotic surgery is coming and it is coming in a big way. And robotic surgery will give us a lot of digital data. So what I'm looking at is that all this digital data would be analyzed by an AI, would be analyzed, and there would be an AI which is developing. In due course of time, it will be coming. And so digital data is from my patients. our patients. And we are not at this point of time, whenever a hospital installing a robot, and the digital, what will happen to this digital data, nobody knows about. Second thing is that all these reports, the tumor viability assays, transcriptomic analysis, NGS, so there are multiple labs, some Indian labs, some foreign labs, everybody's collating data. We are getting tissue biopsies, we are getting liquid biopsies for my patients, we are collating data. So this is, now if I have to analyze, now I tell you how did I come to this conclusion of using this diet, this this natural supplement for my patient. So this is basically, we had the transcriptome analysis. So we had that 75 genes. Then the Europeans, basically, they have developed an AI which will analyze those genes. They'll map those genes towards so every gene, there is a lot of research which has happened. You might be aware of it, that curcumin would counter-regulate EGFR. So this is a cancer promoter. So this would regulate this. So they collate all these things, and then they give us, you should have this and you should not have this. So this is what is happening. So we also, China is publishing 4 papers every month on natural supplements. So we should be putting more efforts in research, and we should be using things, developing this our own data, and we should be using it for our patient and selling it to world, which will happen rather than after a few years we'll be buying from them. That is what I would mean.
Thank you so much. An additional question onto the same. It's when contract is signed for the particular machine which you take, is there a way you can say that, okay, whatever data will be generated can be used only by this particular hospital or this particular country? Why? Because these are our patients and this data is confidential. Even whatever outcome is coming out of it, we put a law into it that, okay, whatever data is there, we will then use it for our research.
Exactly, something like that.
Sure. Thank you.
I think Dr. Loiwal, you can pass on the mic, please.
मेरा क्वेश्चन काफ़ी कुछ मैम से मिलता जुलता था. मतलब बेसिकली जैसे आपने बताया कि आप रोबोटिक सर्जरी कर रहे हैं और एआई से सारा डेटा एनालाइज हो रहा है और वो डेटा सारा आपका यूएस के क्लाउड पे जा रहा है. तो क्या हम कोई पेशेंट से सर्जरी से पहले कोई कंसेंट लेते हैं कि आपका ये डेटा, प्राइवेसी आपकी लॉस होगी इसमें और ये डेटा सारा ट्रांसमिट हो जाएगा?
देखिए, जब आप रोबोटिक सर्जरी, जब आप रोबोटिक इंस्ट्रूमेंट इंस्टॉल करते हो, वो सारा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट और कंसेंट वहीं पे आ जाता है और कंसेंट में सब कुछ मेंशन होता है. जब आप रोबोटिक इंस्ट्रूमेंट को यूज करने का पेशेंट कंसेंट देता है तो उस कंसेंट में सब कुछ इम्प्लाइड है. ये सब
नहीं इम्प्लाइड तो है, लेकिन क्या उस पेशेंट को, जैसे पेशेंट तो लेमैन है,
पता, हमको भी अभी पता लगा.
हाँ, तो उस पेशेंट को तो आपने एक्सप्लेन नहीं किया ना चीज की.
हम तो तब एक्सप्लेन करेंगे सर जब हमें पता होगा.
ये बहुत बड़ी सर जो है इसमें लॉस ऑफ प्राइवेसी, ब्रीच ऑफ प्राइवेसी है इसमें.
ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, वैसे सही बोल रहे हो
सर. आज कोई नहीं बोल रहा है इस चीज पे. आपने एआई की कॉन्फ्रेंस रखी, बहुत अच्छी बात है. आज अभी तक तो देखो, अभी तक क्या हो रहा है, डॉक्टर, हॉस्पिटल और पेशेंट सबको रोबोटिक सर्जरी करनी है, सबको रोबोटिक सर्जरी करानी है. यही हो रहा है.
लेकिन उसके इम्प्लीकेशंस कहाँ हैं?
इम्प्लीकेशंस हम पेशेंट इम्प्लीकेशंस, ट्रीटमेंट रिजल्ट्स, वो सब की बात कर रहे हैं. वो तो हम हर रोज बात करते हैं कि किस पेशेंट में रोबोटिक सर्जरी बेटर है, किसके रोबोटिक रिजल्ट्स बेटर है, क्या डिफरेंस आएगा, क्या कॉस्ट इम्प्लीकेशन आएगी, क्या रिजल्ट कैसा आएगा, ब्लीडिंग कितनी होगी, हॉस्पिटल स्टे कितना होगा, वो सब हम बात करते हैं. वो सब हम पेशेंट को भी बताते हैं. बट ये सारा डेटा जो है, ये एक्चुअली दिस इज अ डिजिटलाइज्ड फॉर्म ऑफ डेटा. सो दिस इज नॉट, मतलब हमारे लेवल की तो बात ही नहीं है. दिस इज एट द लेवल ऑफ when the companies which they talk to the hospitals and when the contracts are signed. तो ये तो सब वहीं पे हो जाता है सर. हमारे लेवल पे और आपके लेवल पे तो जाता ही कुछ नहीं. वो तो बाद में आएगा जब आएगा. आज हम एआई की बात कर रहे हैं ना, तो यही तो अब बहुत अच्छी बात है, इंडियन कंपनी भी रोबोट बना रही है. तो वो आएगा ना. अब मैं आपको एक छोटी सी एक मेरा अभी पेपर अभी पब्लिश होगा, तो नियर इंफ्रारेड इमेजिंग टेक्नोलॉजी है, जिससे जब आप थायराइड सर्जरी करते हो तो हमको कैमरे से पैराथायराइड दिख जाता है. अब थायराइड सर्जरी में क्या है कि थायराइड जब आप निकालोगे तो दो ही चीजें हैं, एक पैराथायराइड ग्लैंड जो कैल्शियम को गवर्न करता है, दूसरी नर्व। तो जब आप थायराइड कर रहे होते हो तो पैराथायराइड ग्लैंड इनएडवर्टेंटली 25-30% केसेस में वर्ल्ड डेटा है, वो इंजर हो जाता है, तो पेशेंट को टैबलेट खानी पड़ती है कैल्शियम की। अब पहले क्या होता था, ये जो नियर इंफ्रारेड इमेजिंग थी ये वेस्टर्न टेक्नोलॉजी से आती थी और हमारे लिए एप्लीकेबल नहीं होती थी और बड़े बड़े इंस्टीट्यूट में ही लगती थी। अब देयर इज अ कंपनी इन बैंगलोर हु डेवलप्ड दिस, देयर इज अ इंडियन स्टार्टअप। अब हमने उसको यूज करने लगे तो अब हमारे पेशेंट्स में हमें वो इमेज दिख जाती है, हमें पैराथायराइड दिख जाता है। अब none of my patients for last 1 year have taken a calcium tablet after thyroid surgery. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that yes, India is the future and we are developing it. There's a lot of software, there's a lot of hardware which is now in India, and ultimately ये सर इस AI कॉन्फ्रेंस आज हम कर रहे हैं तो हमको AI की वेव को राइड करना है,
करेक्ट।
और हम हमारी कंट्री को राइड करना चाहिए। अब बस बहुत हो गया सर, उनको बहुत देख लिया हमने, अब हमको राइड करना है सर ये। तो हमको राइड करना है, तो हमको अपना रोबोट बनाना है, हमको अपना डिजिटल डेटा बनाना है, हमको अपनी गाइडलाइन बनानी है, हम उनको बताएंगे कैसे ट्रीट करते हैं और कैसे रोबोट चलता है। ये है सर, मतलब मेरे को तो ऐसा लगता है ऐसा होना चाहिए।
मनदीप बिल्कुल सही कह रहे
ये
हो,
सर एक
बट वहाँ
जापानीज कंपनी है न्यूरा करके, दे आर कैरिंग आउट AI बेस्ड पीरियोडिक मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशंस। तो वो तो पूरा ही हिस्ट्री ले लेगा, आई थिंक वो पूरा ही डेटा लॉस हो जाएगा।
So apart
पूरा
from
चला
being,
जाएगा।
apart from being apprehensive, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, efforts like this, which is being done today,
Yes.
is definitely going to create awareness in this room. Then from this room to outside, a lot of waves will be generated, and let us hope that something will come up very soon, and some serious work will be done in the field of software side. Hardware side, if it happens, well and good, but I'll be more keen on software side because that has been our forte, and it should not be hijacked by somebody sitting in USA, then giving that work as module development in Bangalore. Actual work is being done in Bangalore, but the entire chunk of the money and entire repository of data is there with USA. So with this hope and with this anticipation and the effort being made by CSR Foundation and led by DD Agrawal ji, I take unilateral decision of concluding this because we are already running out. Thank you very much.
आई थिंक मनदीप इसका सॉल्यूशन भी कोई इंडिया नहीं निकालेगा जरूर से, क्योंकि आउटसाइड जितने बैठे सारे इंडिया से ही है। CTOs जितने कंपनी के अच्छे अच्छे हैं, ऑल CTOs are. So with this, I thank Dr. Ajay for conducting this session very nicely. So I request Mr. Ajay to hand over the momentum to our speakers, and I ask Deen Dayal ji to join with them. Mehra ji, आप भी आ जाइए please. Dr. Saurabh Ghosh. Dr. Arun Jha. Dr. Manoj Goyal. Dr. Mandeep. Dr. Anup. I request C.L. Lalit to come and hand over a memento to session chair, Dr. Sri Ajay. अरे प्लीज एक बार रुक जाइए ग्रुप फोटो के लिए। आई थिंक ऑल द पैनलिस्ट, आई थिंक ऑल द Panelists, please come to the dais. Lalit, अभी सब आ जाओ एक ग्रुप फोटो के लिए. We are not breaking for lunch. We'll have a quick session, next session. And then, because lunch is getting ready in 15-20 minutes. So I request okay. Dr. S.P. Singh ji to chair this session. I request Dr. S.P. Singh to please come to the dais, please. खाने और के बीच में ये सेशन है. So डॉक्टर साहब आपको देखना कितना जल्दी आप फिनिश करते हैं. So now I hand over this to Dr. S.P. Singh, please.
So, good afternoon, everyone. So, Mahavarji, you have given me the toughest task because I have to finish the session. Okay. So, the panel members are Dr. Sanjay Pandey, Dr. Parmita Guha, and Dr. Sushil Chandra. Please come onto the chair. And Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, Dr. Samir Srivastav,
यहाँ से हो जाएगा क्या? कनेक्शन हो जाएगा?
Yeah.
Polysomnography, the only accurate way to analyze sleep until now. Thanks, guys.
And Dr. Katyayani Sharma. Dr. Samir Srivastav.
File खोल लो पहले.
Please come on to the dais.
Polysomnography,
So our
the
first
only
speaker is
accurate
Dr.
way to
Sanjay
analyze
Pandey. He
sleep
is head
until
neurology
now.
and stroke medicine.
Thanks, guys. Introducing Dream. Want to see how we do?
This is a tough time for.
Yes, so when we were born 50 years back, people used to talk about intelligence. Now we are talking about artificial intelligence. So I realized artificial intelligence around 15-20 years back when I was
sitting in my drawing room, and suddenly my phone said that it is time to go to your office. It is only 10 minutes. So currently we are dictated by artificial intelligence. You are passing through Connaught Place, suddenly the phone will say, your favorite restaurant is very close. So you don't have any choice, but you have to go. So now we are the servant and artificial intelligence is the master. But there is a good side also, that we can use this for the benefit of patients, for the benefit of medical sciences. And this is the way we are getting benefited by artificial intelligence. So this is the ranking provided by FDA, and this is the ranking published in 2024 March. And you can see that radiology, cardiovascular and neurology, they are the three top branches in the medical sciences who are using artificial intelligence. So radiology is 77%, cardiology is 10%, neurology is just 3%, but still it is top three. So it means that 3/4 of artificial intelligence is being used by radiology. The reason is that it helps lot in imaging processing. And that is the reason radiology is using AI in a big way. But I will not be surprised if in next 10 years, this number is going to change. So AI in neurology or our specialty, we use for disease detection, assessment of patient symptoms, clinical decision making, and prediction regarding the response to the treatment. So traditionally, we have been seeing patients by taking history, examination, listening to the signs, symptoms of the patient, and making a diagnosis. Like if the patient has fever, we say that these causes may be there. We rule out malaria, we rule out tuberculosis, we rule out enteric fever, and the patient will go some investigation, we make a diagnosis. But what is happening in AI, that we are making a pattern recognition. So pattern recognition, like I will give example of headache. So if the headache is unilateral, patient has vomiting, it is coming 4 to 5 times in a month. So you are just feeding this information to the computer, and patient is sitting in front of the computer, and based on the patient history by chat GPT currently, computer is using that model of trained AI model and making a diagnosis. So this is the way AI is being used in clinical history examination, signs and symptoms. There are a lot of terms which are used in AI, but we use mainly three terms: artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. So deep learning is a method which is used lot in neurosciences, because neurosciences has a lot of neural network, and using these deep learning methods and machine learning, we try to make some models, and these are used for the diagnosis and management of patients. So I will give one example of stroke. So what happens that if somebody has a stroke, the patient has some signs and symptoms, we get a CT scan, and based on the CT scan, if the stroke is within 4.5 hours, the person will be subjected to thrombolysis or clot buster treatment. But there are some other marker which decide that patient will require thrombolysis or not, like some imaging marker. So the patient comes to the hospital, imaging is done, and there are so many sequences of imaging, like there is CT perfusion, CT diffusion, MRI diffusion. So there are hundreds of sequences, and reading those sequences will take at least 1 hour. So how the AI helps, it gives you immediate data, and that is very helpful in thrombolizing the patient, because here the time duration is only 3 to 4.5 hours. And if you spend your 1 hour in reading the images, your time will be wasted and you will not be able to do the justice to the patient. So this is the way it is being used. So this is a very small video. This is the rapid AI tool, and this rapid AI tool is now used in a big way for a stroke patient.
Cause of death and disability worldwide. When blood flow in the brain is interrupted, minutes matter, and a physician's access to real-time imaging may be brain-saving or even life-saving for patients. That's why we developed Rapid, the world's most advanced imaging platform that is revolutionizing the way doctors view the brain. Within seconds, Rapid provides physicians with quantitative maps of unprecedented accuracy. This allows doctors to rapidly assess the severity of the injury and determine the most appropriate treatment. Until recently, stroke therapy has only been available to the few patients who arrive at the hospital within a short time after their stroke occurred. Rapid is helping to shatter the time limits for stroke treatment. Through groundbreaking extended window clinical trials using rapid technology, doctors can now treat patients who arrive at the hospital beyond 6 hours after their initial symptoms, more than doubling the number of patients who can be effectively treated. And because Rapid works with all types of scanners, it's making an impact all over the globe at every level of care. From community hospitals to primary stroke centers to state-of-the-art comprehensive stroke centers, Rapid enhances collaboration between hospitals and facilitates appropriate patient transfers to specialty centers. Rapid is the imaging platform of choice to allow doctors to make better, faster clinical decisions and successfully treat more patients than ever before.
So what happens that suppose I'm just attending this meeting and a patient of stroke comes to the hospital. The just technician will send the patient to the CT and MRI, and after the MRI is done, within 5 minutes I will get the images on my phone using the AI technology, and I will be exactly knowing that if the patient is a candidate for thrombolysis or not. So I don't have to rush to the hospital just to see the images. And you can make a decision very fast. And you just have to install this software in the CT and MRI machine, and you have to install the app in your phone. And based on that, this gives immediate data, and that saves a lot of time. So this is the way we are doing the thrombolysis nowadays. Coming to the multiple sclerosis patient, like you see the multiple sclerosis patient, they have many episodes of demyelination. So what we do that this is a old lesion, this yellow color, and this is a new lesion, this brown color. So suppose you are reading a MRI, sometimes it becomes very difficult to differentiate whether the lesion is old or whether the lesion is new. By just giving a code or code color, the AI model will predict and it will tell you that this is a new lesion and this can be treated. So you can just enhance your time and accuracy by using the AI. So these are the different methods of learning and AI model, and that is used for staging of multiple sclerosis, prognosis, and treatment decision parameters. In epilepsy, lot of AI models are used, like machine learning for epilepsy surgery, where you just take the images and do a prediction model, and by machine learning technique, you try to localize the epileptic focus, and that is very helpful in epilepsy surgery. Dementia and neurodegenerative condition like Parkinson disease, Alzheimer's disease, we make models like Parkinson patient. They have very lot of difficulty in traveling to the clinic every time. So we just make a model of the patient, and we can do a video assessment of the patient. And video assessment can be done sitting across the country or across the state or across the city. And we can examine the patient and see the severity and the treatment response by using the AI model. Similarly, many of the patients have freezing of gait. So we can just put the sensors on different body parts and ask the patient to walk and see the patient on video, and it can predict a freezing, and that can be treated by doing the video consultation. So it's very helpful for those patients who have great difficulty in traveling because they are disabled, they have problem in walking, they are wheelchair bound, and the attendants are facing great difficulty in transporting the patients. Again, like the EEG, we have a lot of data, and that data can be just put in a machine learning algorithm, and like if you are recording a EEG for 24 hours, so this machine learning algorithm will tell you that you have to just look for the 5 minutes data. So rather than seeing 24-hour data, you just see the 5 minutes data. And that data is useful because this data is containing when the patient had a seizure, or that data is showing some abnormal EEG activity. So your time is saved because you are not required to review the EEG of 24 hours. You can just review for 5 minutes and you can save your time. Similarly, in the coma patient have lot of.
So, sorry to just rush because.
Yes, I will finish in 2-3 minutes. So in the coma patient, what happens that patient has coma for many months or many years. So you can monitor the coma by using the AI model. Patient is just at the home, and you can just monitor the patient using the electrophysiological data. Fundus scan, like you go to the ophthalmologist and they see the fundus and they come with a diagnosis. So you can make a model and you can just see the fundus and make a distinction whether it's a papilledema or optic atrophy. So there are different applications which are approved by FDA, and one of the application I showed was the rapid AI in stroke. There are similar model for, like there is a INSO sleep model that can monitor the sleep, IDX model that can monitor the diabetic retinopathy, contact CT that can monitor the stroke on CT scan. So there are different models. Future use, it's likely that AI will be used for seizure classification. It will be used for genome data because genome data is very huge. It can be used for pathological data, and it can be used for the therapeutic response data. So there is a lot of use. But there are some limitations of AI. One of the major limitation is that when you make a model, that model is a very rigid model. But when you see a patient, that is not a rigid model. You can use your gray matter and you can say that no, it is likely to be this, not likely to be this. So it's a sponge-like model. Human model is a sponge-like model, but AI is a very rigid model. Algorithm, like if you feed algorithm for papilledema, it will not detect optic atrophy. So it's very rigid. It will just fix one thing, not the other. Application involves lot of data involvement. So data is whatever data you feed, you are getting the output from that only. And due caution should be exercised while you are using any AI model for any scale or any measurement models, because there can be some inaccuracy and there can be some inconsistency. So there are many challenges, but one opportunity is that now everybody has a mobile phone and you can generate a lot of data. Like patient comes with us with the videos of the patient, and that is very helpful. Like if the patient has a seizure at home, they just take a video recording and come to the clinic. So patient don't require to come to the clinic. They have a video recording of the episode. So that is very helpful. Now everybody has a phone and the data can be generated very fast. So that is an opportunity, and that opportunity can be used for many health related situation. So thank you.
So if
Any
there is
question?
a quick question, we can take one or two quick questions. Because no, Dr. Pandey has to leave.
Yes,
think
I have to
so.
leave.
That's why I took one question. Okay, if not, then we again thanks our speaker.
Thank you.
So, okay. So our next speaker is Professor Sushil Chandra, and who is Dean of School of Psychology and Education, Rishi Hood University, Sonipat, and has retired from INMAS DRDO as a head of a group where he was working with the cognitive science. So he will speak about AI. Dr. Sushil, please.
Thank you, Dr. S.P. Singh, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and friends. I'm really thankful of especially the organizers of this conference. AI in healthcare is actually a very big discipline. I don't know why it is taking time. I know the short of timings, but I'll try to touch upon my earlier speakers itself. Firstly, I'll say that maybe 3 years back, I had gone to Niti Aayog, met with Amitabh Kanji, met with professor from AIMS, who is the member over there, and met our earlier DG, Professor Dr. V.K. Saraswat, who is a member over there. I requested, can we have an ecosystem to create such a wonderful possibilities to work all IITs, all AIMS, and all IIMs together on medical technologies, in which AI in healthcare was one of the field. And as per my presumption, we can become number one in the world, because the kinds of data, the kinds of patients, the kinds of disease and disorders which are existing here are actually worth making multiple models, multiple devices, multiple diagnostic systems, which is an easy possibility. That was one statement which I wanted to share. Second, I think people, even my earlier speaker has covered a wonderful presentation. But I'll tell you my small journey which I was doing. Once I was doing my MTech way back in 83. My MTech thesis topic was laryngeal cancer analysis using speech analysis techniques. No doubt that time AI was not known, but machine learning as such is a very long story. I'm sure many of you might be already aware. So that was, as Professor Mehra was saying in his inaugural address, even multiple kinds of, let me use 3 words, data, signals, image. Data could be simply like what is my BP, heart rate, and things like that. Then I'm going for signals, maybe EG, ECG, GSR. There are multiple kinds of signal in medical. Then image itself, because I'm, as Dr. S.P. Singh told, I'm an ex-INMAS. So INMAS was the first, I think if I'm not wrong, in whole of Asia to have first MRI system, where we have not only MRI, not only PET-CT, starting from subcellular imaging to the animal imaging part. Even we have animal MRI, animal PET also. So what I'm trying to say that the signal, the image, and the 3D image, and then 3D image with virtual reality is a kind of a possibility which we can play with the data. Again, I'll tell one more my pain points. Before 4 years, I met with a doctor in Mumbai. At that time, he was owning 13 MRI system in Mumbai. So you can imagine how many CTs and how many ultrasounds and how many other imaging modalities and pathological systems he might be owning it. But he said, I can store the data only for 7 days, not beyond that. So you can imagine, as our earlier speakers from NIC and other people, they was talking about, how much is the data which is being generated in India, but not being utilized. So we'll have to create an ecosystem to develop these AI models, which is an easy possibility. Let me come back to Professor Dr. Sadarji, I'm just missing the name, who said it long many things. I'm sure many of you might be knowing the IR system, AGA Thermovision, in INMAS was purchased 50 years before. And IR for breast cancer scanning, let me again appreciate, it can become a wonderful tool. Now one, as he also said, because I am working with multiple startups in relation to AI also, So then I came to know IR is being utilized because once we were part of SSPL, Solid State Physics Laboratory. Now the possibility with IR MCT detectors is to differentiate between 0.01 degrees centigrade difference. While in case if I'm not fully competent, but in case of being an oncologist, you might be already aware that the difference in case of a cancerous tissues is 1 to 2 degree. So if we are able to diagnose it well in advance from 0.01 degree, how much we can do the wonders related to that. But only limitation is creating an ecosystem. Then from that side, there was a question related to privacy part, and I really appreciate he could answer many things. But let me answer that one single line in that also. Privacy of the data, if the person name is not shown, is completely there. Privacy of data is completely there. Only thing is, yes, consent of the data is definitely to be taken ethically, because that's a rule, because in case if you want to do it. So that is another part. Now coming to, because Professor Goel, he had already shared related to VR part, because again in VR AR, being part of INMAS, I have got an opportunity to work for more than 2 decades in that area also. I'm sure many of you might be knowing that immersive AI is the latest terminology which is being utilized, especially by Eon Reality, not by Microsoft, not by Google. And immersive AI, that means virtual reality, augmented reality with AI together, is going to play a tremendous role. I'll try to give you an example, because 8 years before I did talk, but till now in India, we have not been able to do it. Can we take, suppose I'm talking Professor Goyal's image of his brain data, then based on 3D generation, and then importing that in VR, virtual reality, he can travel in his own brain and see the analysis with the help of AI. Can you imagine the kinds of diagnostics for a neurosurgeon or a neurophysician will be a possibility if you can travel in your own brain. So the possibilities are enormous in that. Before joining DRDO also, I'm trying to tell you a little story. I'll take 1 minute. I was part of GE. That time, that was the topmost organization of the world. Not even Google, Microsoft, they were not there. So that time they were already having TP11 system, treatment planning system for oncology, because I had visited and repaired that system way back in BHU in 84. So that's what AI has been existing in different names, but the kind of mathematical analysis which is possible now is enormous. So last line, we can do the horizontal and vertical, both kinds of analysis. My horizontal meaning is, in case if we are taking brain tumor data of, let me say, thousands or lakhs of people only by one modality, let me take MRI, and then do the analysis part is one way. Vertical, my meaning is, if one single patient data, based on genomics, based on pathology, based on ECG, based on EG, based on the multiple modalities, and then finally doing the work related to personalized medicine is also a possibility. So at present, AI is a wonderful tool, I do agree, but creating an ecosystem is a compulsory requirement. And then finally, let me appreciate the efforts of the organization. This is a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Susil, for crisp and nice speech. And now our next speaker is Dr. Paramita Guha, Principal Scientist from CSI and SI Physical Laboratory. time a little bit.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Paramita Guha, working as a scientist with CSR National Physical Laboratory. I'm not a doctor. Basically, I'm an engineer. I'm an electrical engineer trying to develop models for healthcare systems using AI and ML. And most of us know what is AI. AI is basically an intelligent system which is developed artificially so that it can behave like human brains, and it has the ability to solve problems and act rationally like human beings. When we talk about AI, then there are several terms which come simultaneously, like AI, ML, DNN, NLP, etc. So let me first tell you in very brief what are these terms, how they are related. As I have told you that AI means your artificially intelligent systems, means that a machine is being designed so that it can behave like human brains. Now, if you want to design any machine, it means that the machine should have some protocols, some algorithms which can act in such a way that we can perform some desired activity. Maybe it may be some classification, regression, forecasting, anything. So that development of that algorithms come under machine learning. So machine learning is the backbone of AI. Now, if you, now using machine learning algorithms, we can do several activities like like your computer vision, then natural language processing, then robotics, speech recognition, expert system design, etc., etc. So these are the relationship among NLP, that is natural language processing, computer vision, and ML and AI. Now let me say we have some complex system, complex images. Okay, let me say tulsi patta and pudina patta. So it is very difficult to segregate between, means it is very difficult to identify whether it is a tulsi patta or it is a your pudina patta. And so we need some sophisticated algorithm so that we can identify whether this is this leaf or that leaf. If we want to do this kind of sophisticated work, so for that scientists have developed one algorithm known as deep neural network. So that is a more sophisticated algorithm which will analyze each and every layer of a neural network and give us proper output. In medical term, this algorithm is very important. Natural language processing. Is basically This basically belongs to computer science and AI, and it basically makes computers understand human languages. Let me say we have some medical data, maybe some emotions or some voice recording of patients, and if we put that data to this algorithm will convert those voice data to to the computer codes or computer understandable programs, and from there features will be extracted, and then it can analyze that data and it will give you the output. It will tell you whether the person is suffering from anxiety, whether he is having some demographic some social problem, something that things it can suggest to a doctor. So these are the few things which can be done by NLP. Now NLP has a very important scope in healthcare. As we know that we are having 1.4 billion population. Since the population is increasing, it means that more data is coming day by day, and it is very difficult for human beings to analyze, store, and extract information, useful information from those data. So for that, we need computer programming or some algorithm which can extract information from those data. So and also after analyzing those information, it should have the capability to record it or store it more scientifically so that it can be used for future. So these things can be done by NLP. Now, as I have told you that when we give some voice recording or voice commands, then that can also be analyzed. That can also, the information from that voice recording can also be extracted by this algorithm, and it can do specific tasks, whatever is told by the user. So common example of this application are Siri, Cortana, and also your Alexa. Just we give command to Alexa or Siri, it will just understand from our voice that, okay, Alexa, turn on this light. So it will just extract the information from our voice data and it will process it and it will do the action. So this is a perfect example of NLP. Now for our, this is one of the most popular application of NLP, that is electronic your health record management. Like as I have told that it can take any kind of data, voice data, electronic data, then text data, image data, everything we can store in a place, and it will first of all the data needs to be pre-processed, because data may have many kind of things like background noise and any bias, those things may be there in the data. So the data should be pre-processed using standard algorithms, and after that the needful features are extracted. We have seen from the literature and also after consulting with doctors that all the parameters which are there in the data may not be useful. Maybe out of 100 parameters, 80 or 70 may be significant, and those 70 can represent the nature of the data. So the extraction of these features are very important, and after that we can design AI algorithm, or here DNN and CNN. DNN means deep neural network, play a very important role, and using those algorithms we can develop the model, and it will give me specific results like detection, like identification of diseases, or maybe your it can suggest the doctors that, okay, fine, this patient is having this kind of activities or this kind of data, so you can suggest these medicines. It can suggest to the doctors, and also it can store the data more scientific way. Means, let me say I am visiting a hospital today for some disease. After 1 year, I may visit to the same hospital after 1 year or 2 years. So it is not required to physically or by hand, means paper, all those things the doctors need to preserve the data. It can just put the data in their systems, or maybe in cloud, NIC cloud, NIC cloud, or maybe some other cloud, so that that data can be fetched. Okay, fine, Paramita Guha had come 1 year back, so let me see what was the status of her health 1 year back, and they can correlate. Means this algorithm has the power to correlate the past data. My family history also can be incorporated with that data, so that we can predict that whether I'm having some disease or not. This is I'll be finishing five minutes. So these are this is another most important and powerful application of NLP, that it can act as a robot, that it can take the information from patients, it can analyze those information, and after that it can suggest whether that patient should go to an orthopedic doctor, or it should go for, that patient should go for a oncologist, anything, that it can suggest that also. And also it can do the feedback. It can based on the patient satisfactory factors, there it can give some feedback also. So these are the things which NLP can do. Now DNN, as I have told, that in order to develop or analyze the data which has been obtained from hospitals or maybe from pathological laboratories, we need to model the data, isn't it? For modeling of data, we generally use DNN. This is a very sophisticated neural network because it can analyze each steps or each layers of the neural network so that we can get best output. Now, this is a small part of my work which we have done recently in NPL, that we tried to segregate the images, histopathological and also your normal images of oral cancer using DNN. Here what we have done, we had collected some data from open source software and also from Lady Hardinge Medical College, and based on the data, we first of all we had applied some pre-processing algorithm so that we could remove the noise and background and errors, bias, all those things we could remove. And after that, we had divided the data into two parts. One, 80% is kept for our training of the model or development of the model, and 20% was kept for our testing of the models. And then what we did that we applied, we developed actually some algorithm like ResNet 50, Inception V3, Efficient V0, so that we could classify the images whether they are normal or they are having OSCC. So based on that, we had some results, and we had seen that ResNet efficient net B0 worked better for our for this kind of data because it has more complex data set architecture, and also because we have seen that the accuracy rate is very good and it is taking less time for computation. And we recently got good comments from the from an international journal. Probably that paper will get accepted because I've got some minor revisions. So these are the opportunities and challenges. Opportunities is that most of this we know, and opportunities is that we have huge amount of data, although we need to check the privacy and your regulatory things we need to see, but we have lots of data, so lots of models can be developed. And also since AI is nowadays a boom, so if we plunge into this pond, then it is surely that we'll get funding. So these are the opportunities, and these pros and cons I won't discuss anymore because these things all of us know. Thank you very much. And last but not the least, yesterday only we became champion in cricket. So congratulations to all of us. And now let us see if we can be a champion in AI as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Paramita, for short speech, and sorry for rushing you people. And our next speaker is Dr. Vikram Sarabhai from National Heart Institute. Sir, please.
Can I see my presentation? Okay. That's quite a long CV that is there in my introduction slide. Thank you very much, Dr. Pravesh Mehra, for the opportunity. It's really a privilege and an honor to be here amongst not just doctors, which was our usual fraternity, but amongst all the scientists. So now the scrutiny is going to be much more intense. So being amongst pure scientists like myself, physicists who are sitting with me, and some engineers, we doctors know that we are in a domain where we are very helpless and we have a black box situation because the machines are doing everything and we hardly know what it is. So we can only provide data. And so let's get on to my specialty is respiratory medicine, critical care, and sleep medicine. I worked at Escorts, then Medanta and Max Hospital in Saket. Now I'm at and also in UAE. So let's go to, okay. So my assignment was artificial intelligence shaping newer paradigms in respiratory medicine. Once I know that there is a heterogeneous group here, I change it more to generalization than to, create a very boring medical topic. So let's start from Gandhiji, truth is God, and some basic philosophy. If this is a moment of truth for all of us and we put our hands on our heart, then the issue is like this. The human necessity is that healthcare should be for all. Just like food, everybody should get health care because it's a very desperate situation if we are not getting health care. This has to be democratized. That means equal access to one and all. And it should be expert independent, and there should be no boundaries that should hold on healthcare. But where we are today, we are here. Limitations of healthcare outreach. The healthcare is only for the privileged. It is urbanized concentration. It is absolutely expert dependent, and the geographic, financial, and cultural and legal issues are there. So if you're born in America or you're an American citizen, you get a different level of, you are born in Mozambique, you are different. So the issue is, in this moment of truth, how do you challenge this economic apartheid for healthcare? So humanity is taking a quantum leap of creating universal availability, and that can happen only through advancement in technology, and artificial intelligence is giving us answers also in healthcare. So this is the force of artificial intelligence that is engulfing humanity as we go, and it's going to slowly deluge us. If we want to resist this, it's impossible because it is there all around us. We all consume artificial intelligence, and some people had security and privacy issues. That is none of the, already the world knows everything about you. So by the time you think of privacy, or you are trying to go to Supreme Court and say my Aadhaar card should not be there, every bank has it. So it doesn't matter. So you're already a global citizen, everybody knows you. So this is the force with which you have to reckon. I'm sure you know this person, Sundar Pichai. He said, artificial intelligence is probably the most important thing humanity has ever worked on. So they equate it now equal to something like electricity. So this is what he said in World Economic Forum. If you haven't seen this movie, I would recommend that you note it down, and it's a beautiful movie where this artificial intelligence started from. This movie is called The Imitation Game. And this is about a machine which was called the Enigma machine. Enigma machine was a German machine which would put codes where the U-boats would intercept ships and supplies coming from the Atlantic in US in the World War II. And they wanted to decode this, and they had no way for human interception, how to decode, because millions of codes they would change, the Germans would change it. So there was a brilliant mathematician called the name of Alan Turing, and he wrote a paper much before World War II started in 1937 on proceedings in mathematics, mathematical this thing in England. And this is the original manuscript which said that the computable numbers with an application to the Einstein's problems. This is a German word, a German terminology which says that given the state of axioms, there is an algorithm that can tell if the proposition is provable. So this is the first page of that paper, 1937. You write one paper, it got noticed, and even Winston Churchill handpicked him to create a machine that could compute and decompute the Enigma code. And that's what he made, and this was called the Bombay, and they could decode Enigma. His invention is supposed to have saved almost 1.4 crore lives, shortened World War II by 2 years, and gave birth to computers we have of future. The man is actually credited with the father of being the father of artificial intelligence, and I would presume that he was one of the greatest World War II heroes who never fought a bullet and never went to war, but could actually make so much impact on humanity just by mathematics and science. Now let us see what is the Forbes magazine paper which came in India with demystifying artificial intelligence in healthcare in India. This is the market share. If say $1 is 82.52 rupees, 1 billion US dollar is into more than 8,500 crores. So we are in 2024. This is the amount of expenditure that we have in the world. It's like 2,35,000 crores. It's a staggering value. I think none of us understand the value of this, but the growth is going to be happening in the next 6 years is 600%, which means that the world will be looking at artificial intelligence in, expenditure almost 1.57 lakh crores. So that's how it is going to be. Anybody thought who India can catch up with this? This figure is more than entire in an expenditure. So this is staggering. So, but we are not doing badly in India. Healthcare in India expenditure in 2018 was about 5,500 crores. By next year, it's going to be nearly 1 lakh crores. Now, look at this situation. I want to give you a situation. So, like Aadhaar card, you have a biometric card where you have your genomics, your parents, your brothers, sisters, everybody, and who they are, what disease they suffer from. So you go and this gets punched in. You have telemedicine or voice control. This thing, there can be questionnaires where the patients can actually fiddle their problems. Just like somebody said that there is Google Doctor. The people go to Google and understand that. Radiology reports are pixelated. They can be always incorporated, and pathology reports. Now, what you see in current medicine. So, if you look at all this, the beauty of artificial intelligence vis-a-vis human intelligence is humans' intelligence does not come in clones. Everybody is not born Einstein. Everybody is not born a Beethoven. So, but you can create a machine which will one look the same. And the beauty of artificial intelligence is it does not have dementia. That means it does not forget anything. Whatever comes into it, it will retain it forever. Humans have a beautiful sensation of forgetfulness. So we forget our sorrows and we carry on. But artificial intelligence does not have anything which it forgets. So the current medicine is, suppose this is a group of lung cancer patient. They're given, all of them are given the same treatment, but the results are different. So some will have beneficial effects. Some, the treatment will not happen, and in some the adverse effects of drugs or the progress of the disease will cause adverse effects, and that means one treatment fits all does not fit in. So where is the future going? Future is when artificial intelligence comes in, gives a solution and gives it more patient specific, and you will see that the future of medicine will be more personalized therapy. So the same group of, say for example, one disease like lung cancer, you're giving genomics, proteomics, radiomics, uh, all these solutions will result into giving unified treatment and personalized care, and where the results are likely to be more positive and optimistic. So imagine this, what is it that one cannot do through internet based healthcare delivery incorporating artificial intelligence? Now, this is one paper. We go into something very basic. We all doctors use stethoscope, and very small country like Tunisia, anybody can be sitting at home and can be doing artificial intelligence, can create solutions. This was published, this was presented in ERS conference or European Respiratory Society major conference in Spain, Barcelona. And they, in just about 2 years back, and they had this, they had this stethoscope, like electronic stethoscope, like we put our ears get trained when we put and listen to the heart sounds or lung sounds. So what they have done is that, if you'll see this is the kind of artificial stethoscope which you are seeing there, and the whole thing would be, the conclusion would be that the artificial intelligence of lung sound classification can be used to facilitate clinical decision making, especially during remote consultation. So these will come on the mobile phone and they are connected to cloud computing, and then it can be, so you can, the electronic stethoscope will be able to say most likely this person has this kind of a disorder. And the work represent that the first step would be validation. That means how much percentage we can go beyond 90% to be able to predict what it is, and collect several records of pulmonary auscultations, improve identification of auscultatory sound, and incorporate it with this data to keep enhancing artificial intelligence. Now we go to 2020 European Respiratory Society. I'm just trying to give you some evidence-based medicine. They looked at, now incorporate and see what happens with radiomics. So the CT scan does not see it like human eyes. We see it as image. They see it as pixelation and create it as an algorithm, as a digitalized thing. And suppose this is a small little shadow, and this gets filtered, and then you see 20 parameters, so the surface and the morphology, and then it gets on everything, it gets onto convolution. It's called the CNN, or the convolutional neural networks, and it's got 3 layers: convolutional layers, the pooling layer, and the fully connected layer. And then it can actually give a prediction model, say that 95% of the chance that this small thing is going to turn into cancer 5 years later. The issue is, if you have something on longitudinal basis, you have these CT scans keep emerging, they can predict a cancer much before actually the cancer is happening. They are trying to do it with skin cancers, in small lesions. They can do it in lung cancers. They can do it in all kinds of healthcare environment, even in breast cancer somebody showed. So these are terminologies which Paramita showed already: supervised learning and unsupervised learning and reinforcement learning. The idea here is that European standards of safety and predictability, these models, Food and Drug Administration in the US is a little bit more conservative. They have started to say that they have prediction model for lung nodules, for pneumonia such as COVID-19, pulmonary embolism, emphysema, pneumothorax, and lung function testing. So people who are not in the medical side, they may find these terminologies different, but these are medical conditions that we can actually, the machines that are made by GE or Siemens, they will generate the CT reports will come, and the machine will give you, the radiologist need not be there, and they'll be able to say that 95% chances this person has this. So the idea is that you just put a machine in, say, Samastipur, and you don't have a top radiologist there. You don't need an expert to be able to say with visual things. And even sometimes something that is not has emerged, which will miss a human eye or human intellect, a prediction model will be able to say what it is like. So now there are some definitions like Cancer IO. It's a huge, Finland puts a lot of money. They have got a huge amount of money for education. They have this Business Finland, personalized healthcare, this thing say, so they are doing it on immunotherapy, oncology based this thing. Radiomics is prediction models for radiology like CT scan, PET scan, X-rays, tumor burden. Organotropism varies the likelihood of the cancer cell to go and settle in which organs. Sarcopenia is loss of muscle loss, and bone marrow metabolism as biomarkers. So this is a complex slide for people to understand. In 2021, if you look at chemotherapy and radiotherapy, this can be more targeted. Then there can be immune therapy. So cancer therapies have been now challenged with immunology and angiogenesis. So all of this come through PET scan, MRI, and this thing, and it will go into artificial intelligence and will then be incorporated in making decision making. So these are complex ideas like tumor burden, organotropism, skeletal muscle, radiomics, bone marrow. All of this combined will go into machine learning. All this data to come in every specialized human doctor mind is a very, very difficult. And therefore, we are in this problem where artificial intelligence comes in. So these are decision tools. Now look at this thing. I went to Stanford in 2020. This was something like a brain machine mapping EEG or sleep medicine, because we do sleep medicine, and you can see everything is like a paper or ECG. So these are patterns. So our eyes are tuned to understand ECG or EEG. Now this has been incorporated. Like, can you play this video? So now see, from that big machine, where we have come to. Can this play? No. Just put on this thing. No. The prior machine. You go on the...
Polysomnography, the only accurate way to analyze sleep until now.
So this is like brain mapping. Now the doctors are not required.
Introducing Dream. Want to see how we do it? Sensors, 5 on the front, 2 on the back, that work through your hair. you need to understand your sleep. Sent to your phone every morning. Bone conduction, designed to help you fall asleep. For better sleep, night after night.
So this is like professor said in neurology. Every night there is an EEG done. So when you are giving medicine, you can actually see what are the changes that is happening. So on longitudinal way, for years together, you can map the prognosis, diagnosis, and everything. Next video, just like this. It'll be just 1 minute. Just one video and then it's finished.
The future of health is not a thing that tracks your heart rate night and day, that gives you the most accurate sleep data, that tracks your heart rate during your workout, that predicts your period a month early and alerts you a week before it starts, that senses your blood oxygen levels, that knows when you might be feeling unwell, even before you do. Future of health is not a ring. The future of health is you.
So a ring can see your oxygen saturation, pulse, ECG, EEG, what you have, and on a long-term basis, and you can just wear it like an ornament. So the audacity of science and technology with artificial intelligence, if you see here, this is what it was. This is how I used to do sleep medicine in Scott's Heart Institute, and this is where we have reached. So the take-home message is artificial intelligence in healthcare is the data-driven decision-making in medical diagnosis and therapy, more accurate and classification and diagnosis, massive quantities of clinical, physiological, epidemiological, and genetic data algorithmically analyzed, clinically manageable, interpretable, and actionable knowledge augments decision making, prognosis prediction, disease and treatment, characterization of disease subtypes, precise automated and reproducible management, and optimum and personalized therapy, and favorably outcomes in other fields as well. So what I want to say in the end is artificial intelligence is shaping newer paradigms in entire healthcare, not just respiratory medicine. The future has already arrived. We are in the process of evolving, and by the time in the next 5 years, I am somebody who completely believes in Elon Musk saying that 50% of the jobs will be taken away from humanity by artificial intelligence. That there is nothing to feel insecure about. There were times when humans used to work in a different way. The humanity will change the expertise. This change is happening whether we accept it or not. Just like one of my colleagues said, we have to ride this stage. Don't have to feel knowledge, and science does not limit boundaries of nations. So there is no pride in saying all that we know is given by the white man. So they are not insecure. Why should we feel? I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will become a generation of idiots. This is what we have to fight. But this came from nobody small than Albert Einstein himself. I'm really thankful for you to have given me this opportunity.
Thank you, Professor Sarabhai, for such a nice and crisp and informative. Our next speaker is Dr. Katyayani Sharma, dental surgeon, MTech PhD from AIMS and AIMS Jodhpur and IIT Jodhpur. So Katyayani,
Thank you, Dr. Singh. And first of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Agrawal and Professor Mehra for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this wonderful summit. We've all been engaging in such insightful deliberations since morning. So may I have my presentation? Yeah, so I'm Katyayani, and I'm a dentist, but I'm currently pursuing Master's PhD in Medical Technologies, which is a joint program being offered by AIMS Jodhpur and IIT Jodhpur. I'm currently in the third year of my PhD. So today I'll be talking about artificial intelligence in diagnostics and prognostics. So there's two ways that this presentation could have gone ahead. One was that I could have just simply enlisted the diagnostic devices that are being used in different specialties. However, I chose to go ahead with the emerging technologies and the work that is being done right now in our country. And as a budding entrepreneur in this field, I would like to discuss this in more details. Not working. Oh, okay. Yeah. So artificial intelligence is a game changer. I think it's old news now. We all know that artificial intelligence has certainly enhanced the diagnostic accuracy and efficiency. What it does, it provides a decision support system. So one thing that we keep on hearing is that, oh, well, if everything is AI, then perhaps the students, especially this, we get to hear from senior clinicians in college when we were studying that, okay, perhaps you don't have to study as hard as we did because now you have AI. Well, that's not true. That's half the truth. What AI does, it helps you make an informed decision regarding the diagnosis. It doesn't do the diagnosis in itself. You still need to be skilled in order to understand what the AI is telling you. Well, other than that, AI helps in screening and early detection of multiple diseases. The remote consultation and telemedicine is way possible because of this. For some reason, I think my clicker is... All right, yeah. So smart wearables, this is what I want to talk about. When we talk about artificial intelligence, it doesn't need to be big machines. It's like Dr. Sarabhai just showed us a video of the ring. Well, it's just one of the wearables that we all have smartwatches these days. We have glasses, headsets, and even clothing, which are smart. In my institution, there is work going on with the help of conducting yarn. So the t-shirt in itself will provide heat. We're making that for babies who suffer from hypothermia. So it will provide heat to them. Other than that, what's more important, what is upcoming, yeah, artificial intelligence of things. So wearables, well, see, artificial intelligence, when helped with sensors are the backbone of artificial intelligence. So Internet of Things has been a thing for a long, like multiple decades, for a long time. Now we have artificial intelligence of things. To put it simply, it's just a connected network of devices that work on a cloud-based system. So you will have a simple, small point-of-care diagnostic device. It'll just do the whole entire testing at a remote location. It'll send the results over via the cloud, and the doctor can be local, in an urbanized setting and then read those results. What we are doing, in fact, what I am doing is currently developing a point-of-care device for rapid detection of cerebrospinal fluid leaks. So what it'll do, currently the cerebrospinal fluid leak detection takes almost 24 to 48 hours just to get the results. But with our device, it'll take less than 30 minutes. So all you need to do is take a small sensing card, perhaps as small as a pregnancy test kit, and then you just put the clinical sample on it, feed it to the reader, and within 30 minutes, there you have it. You have the result whether the CSF leak is there or not. With the help of nanotechnology and these microfluidics, we can have flexible sensors which can be embedded within the tooth or onto the skin as patches, and there can be continuous real-time monitoring. Prognosis of the patients can be read over the time. This is really helpful in cases of elderly patients and patients prone to neurological diseases. So like I said, point-of-care diagnosis, this is what I'm working in, is simplified with artificial intelligence of things and nanotechnology. I cannot show you the images of my research work because of intellectual property. However, this is somewhat similar to the work that I'm doing. You have a small slide which can be taken in any setting, which can be placed anywhere. You put on the clinical sample, it can be blood, mucus, or any clinical sample of your choice, and then it is fixed with the target molecules, which will then we feed it to the reader, and it will give us the result, what disease it is or whatever the target molecule is. What it does, it cuts down, it helps the early detection at point of care. So these devices can be deployed at remote locations. For example, the project that I'm working on in battlefield, yeah, there it can be deployed in itself. So in army bases, it's as big as a desktop printer, so you can just keep it within the operation theater or at your local resource constraint setting, and there you can have the results in itself. As my favorite singer Celine Dion has said, near, far, wherever you are. Well, diagnosis can be made with the help of artificial intelligence and with the help of AIoT devices. This is the part that I want to focus upon. The ecosystem is growing. We had a lot of discussions. In fact, Dr. Mandeep gave a fantastic presentation where he talked about Niramay Health Analytics, which is a homegrown startup. Its founder, Dr. Geeta Manjunath, I had a chance to interact with her. So we have multiple startups going on. In fact, the joint programs in medical technologies in my institutions, AIMS Jodhpur and IIT Jodhpur, we have 12 incubated student-led startups already working in deep tech with AI-enabled diagnostic devices. I'm one of them, where what I want to tell is that please keep an eye out. This is a deep tech world, and in India we're making a great deal of progress. However, it will take almost 10 years to see the results, because this is deep tech. It needs to go through various clinical trials and a multiple regulatory affairs. So that is where we lag. And the other part where we are lagging behind is the procurement of funds. We don't get the funds at the right time, so the startups at a very early stage suffer and stifle out. Data, data, and more data. I think Ms. Guha told us very nicely about data and how it works. Well, data is never enough. So this is where clinicians and multiple stakeholders can help us out who are in very early stages of our deep tech startups. You give us data, we give you results. Yes, challenges are there, ethical challenges, regulatory challenges. However, the artificial intelligence's performance outweighs all of them. And so the takeaways are, we've been hearing this a lot. Will AI replace doctors? No. AI will not replace you as a clinician, but a clinician using AI definitely will. AI-enabled diagnostics are not limited to medical imaging, though it has made great advancements in the field of radiology and other CT, like reading CT scans, MRI. However, that is not the limit. Point-of-care devices, diagnostic devices are the next big thing. Smart wearables. Think beyond the watch. It's high time now. Anything can be smart. Any device, any small pocket device that you have on you is a smart wearable. Prognosis in real time? Yes, it's possible with the help of flexible sensors embedded within the body and outside the body. And yes, please do help us. Please share our vision, be a part of the ecosystem, help young entrepreneurs like myself and multiple others give us advice how we can be better so that we don't have to struggle so much and we can learn from other people's mistakes. And that is all. Let us empower healthcare with technology. I hope to collaborate with a lot of people. And these are my email IDs. So if anybody would like to connect with me, I'm working in point of care devices. So that's all. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Katyani. So now I will not come in between your lunch. So I will summarize within 2 words that this session was comprises of highly experienced people and young people as well as working people. So this was a combination, and Professor Susil has very clearly given a message that a collaborative efforts are already on and we have to work together. And Dr. Guha has shown the power of data, how this power of data could be utilized for a predictive analysis of the disease and the improved therapeutics. And Professor Sarabhai has given a very crisp and extensive information about the power of AI, that we are still at the tip of, we are seeing the tip of the iceberg, but still a lot of things has to be evolved out of this. So, and the economics, what he has shown about the AI, this is a this is showing the huge potential and going to change completely the socio-economic fabrics of any economy, right? And thank you, Katyayani, for such a nice presentation on diagnostic and how AI can bring the diagnostic to a different level. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. S.V. Singh, for conducting it so nicely and summing up so well. I think this panel was very vibrant, I can see, because was listening and really a lot of insight and inputs. So now I request Dr. S.V. Singh, session chair, and Deen Dayalji and Dr. Mehra, please join to give away the token moment. Oh, madam. मैं देखा ही नहीं वो कह रहे दोनों में एक ही आ सकते हैं बस हाँ मोमेंट लगे मिस परमिता गुहा डॉक्टर सुशील चंद्र अरे धीरे भाई डॉक्टर विक्रम सारा भाई डॉक्टर कात्यायनी शर्मा I request Dr. Vijay Kaushik if he's here. Vijay Kaushik. Dr. Vijay Kaushik, please give a comment to our session chair. Dr. S.P. Singh, please. I request everyone to come for a group photograph, please. We'll have a lunch break for half an hour. We'll assemble back here at about 3:05.
बेसिल आ रहे